Pandora's box is about to open wide.
Welcome once again to Pandora's Box, everybody. We got some special guests in the studio today. The awesome band Saint Fian, as a folk band local to me and Drew and Bullwinkle, comprising of Stephanie Jane.
Hi.
And Ian, sorry mate, I don't know your last name.
Ian Roberts.
Ian Roberts.
Roberto.
Some amazing musicians. They just did a sound check a minute ago because they're going to play some music live in the studio a bit later on in the show. So stick around and look forward to that because it's going to be insane. But yeah, absolutely amazing. I also had the pleasure of you guys playing my wedding last month.
That was good. I can't remember any of it, but it was good.
I remember bits.
I was absolutely hammered. I don't know if you guys can remember, but I was. I mean,
not as Drew.
Not as hammered as Drew. Not as hammered as Drew.
Oh my god!
I definitely apologise when you guys come.
No, you did. You no need, man.
No,
very
Drew,
good.
that you don't need to. I've been telling him this, because he's almost been so apologetic about it, since, because he was, let's face it, in an absolute state.
Oh, it's beautiful. He's the same way I am at weddings. That's the way to be.
Yeah. But it was magnificent. I was like, he was being hilarious, and the more wasted he was getting, the more I just wanted to get him more wasted. Because I was like,
that's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
I mean,
it was such good music to have as well.
Yeah.
It was just so banging. I remember you were doing some Beat with Mac and stuff, and I was just like, this is so good.
Yeah. You're very kind, dude.
There was a moment when you were like, can I have a go? And then Calum went, no, mate, come on. Not today.
At one stage, I think Drew almost knocked over one of your guys' speakers.
He did.
And I think during the intermission, Drew was the mic was off, but Drew was just there for about 10 minutes singing into the mic.
No, he was.
No one could hear what he was singing because obviously they had some music playing, but he was just giving it some. I was like, it was hilarious, guys. But yeah,
great.
It was such a feel good night. Yeah, and thanks to both of you for playing, because it was like the perfect.
Thank you for having us.
It was the perfect music to have at a wedding. It was such a feel good night. I feel like it couldn't have been a better day, really.
Well.
And it was just brilliant. As I said, whether it was just Drew being a complete wreckhead and a liability, or just or the music, just everybody was just so happy, and it was great. Well, apart from maybe some of the staff with Drew, but
they were all right. They were all right.
No, yeah, they were all right. They were all right. But yeah, thanks for coming in today, guys. I said I thought it'd be awesome to get to you guys playing some live music and learn a bit more about you guys and spread awareness of your band.
Yeah.
Find out more about you both. So, how did you guys originally get together as a band?
Well, back in the day. How long ago was it?
How long ago we met, or how long ago?
Go from the beginning. So I played at the Cobblestones in Bridgewater. With a guy called Carl Ficarotta.
Oh yeah,
one of my favourite musicians.
He's well known around this area, isn't he?
He's so good, and he's writing a lot of folk music now as well.
Is he?
Yeah, his new stuff is great.
Pop alternative.
He's going to kill you for saying that.
Yeah, I was going to say
this every time.
Well,
I'll tell him.
I was going to say, from all the stuff I've heard of him so far, anyway, I wouldn't really say it was folk.
No, he's alternative acoustic Americana-ish. I'll give him the Americana with his beautiful vocals. His vocals are velvet.
His lyrics are quite folky. They take you through a journey. Anyway, I like Carl a lot.
I like Carl too.
Yeah, he's very good musician.
I saw him perform at the Cobblestones once while I was there, and I was like, I need to get you on when I was solo singing. I need to get you into the recording studio, and we need to do a duo, please, because I love your voice. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. So I invited him to Beehive Studios in Western Zoyland, and we did a cover of All I Want by Codaline.
Do you know what? I don't know that song.
It's a good one. It's
there's a two-part, big, long, epic thing.
Is it one of those?
One's a happy version and one's a sad version. It's one of the ones you actually kind of have to watch the video to understand really what's going on.
Okay.
It's a clever story song. It's not my preferred cup of tea, but it's clever and quite emotive in music. Yeah, man.
Okay. Is it a well-known song? Is it one of those ones I'd probably know if I heard it?
I reckon it's 20-odd million views on.
Oh,
yeah. You know it.
It's a beautiful song.
Right,
it's just really simple.
Can you sing a little bit of it, Steph? Just so, do you mind? Just enough that I'd understand.
So it goes, all I want is nothing more.
Oh, it's like a pop. It's like a pop song. Yeah. I know.
It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I got him in the studio, and then when I used to go to Cobblestones just to just hang out and
it's like the biggest music venue around here, isn't it?
They put on
within
some good
30
stuff.
miles, 35 miles.
They put on some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And then he was doing a gig there. and he was just like, "Oh, I just come up here, like come on, do a song." So we did All I Want, but unbeknown to me, Ian was actually there.
Right.
I was playing with Carl. I was on stage, but I moved off the side.
And I
of the
don't
stage.
remember.
So she didn't even
She doesn't
notice
remember
you.
me at all. I was on stage the whole set. First time Carl had done an acoustic set with another guitarist, and I came along, and then he called up Steph on the stage. And then, anyway, after that, I saw Steph sing that, and I was like, I was playing in a funk band at the time that we spoke about earlier, the Man from Funkle. They're a function covers wedding band around Taunton. We need a new singer. The singer was just about to hand in a notice. We had about 4 months left. I saw Steph and was like, oh, come sing with me!
Do you want to
Come
join?
sing!
Yeah.
Many things led to another. We played in Funkle for about 2 years, and then we both realised I love her folk music, and I was like, should we do a duo together? And she had exactly the same idea. We basically just kind of looked at each other and went, duo at the same time, and we're like, cool, yeah.
Yeah, we're basically the same person in our heads. So, it's just all full of magic. And on the car journeys, that's when we found it out. Because I used to pick him up
the
and
car
take him
journeys
to
to and
gigs.
from gig. I don't drive. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steph we'd have many a long hour in the car going north, south, west, everywhere. And yeah, we
I'm like, oh, have you heard this?
we didn't listen to funk. We didn't listen.
Yeah.
We listened to nice chilled out old fiddle and old Celtic tunes and
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the things I didn't think he knew about, I'd be like, oh, I bet you've never heard. Yeah, I know that. Like, what?
Can you
okay,
give us,
what do you know this?
Can you give us an example of some of the bands you sort of bonded over, or?
Lots.
Oh man, name them all. 'Cause
Irish, we're in big love of Irish music at the moment. Things that really appeal. So we got Ye Vagabonds. They're like a small little Irish folk duo.
I haven't heard of them.
Dude,
so
check Ye
amazing.
Vagabonds. If
love
you're
folk.
telling me what you're saying,
Yeah.
they are a motive perfect harmony and play everything perfectly for the song, and they have the perfect little harmonies, and they play all these old little Irish ditties with little jigs in between. But they're very chilled out. Then we got Lankum, who's another Irish band, but they're very dark and quite dirty, quite gritty.
Sounds great.
They're amazing. They're quite brutal, but they are. Like every amazing
Are all
Irish
these bands newer bands?
Lanka are about 10 years, but they're about 10, 12 years old, I'd say.
Okay. Fairly new bands.
in the
It's all relative.
In
It's
the
all relative.
relative world of things, they're new bands these days. I mean, we're a new band. We're 7 months now, I think, going since the start of this. But yeah. So that's what I'm new to 2 years. Two years, I think, new. 5 years, you've kind of been around.
Right. I guess it depends, because I mean, a lot of the folk bands I listen to this day are still like Planksty and like really old Irish bands that like formed in like,
So we're
1972.
Yeah, we're talking. You're talking like the folk revival from like 60s and 70s and so on, and like back in Dubliners' age and such.
Yeah.
Oh, I do miss it. But I think that's kind of what every Irish band kind of.
like
they all have
Silly Wizards,
a
do you know them?
Dubliners essence to them. Yeah.
Silly Wizard, they were like a Scottish band, great folk band from Scotland, Silly Wizard. But a lot of these bands are like 60s, 70s bands,
Yeah.
you know, like. But yeah, sorry, go on with what you were saying. Anyway.
I have no idea. Train of thought gone, dude.
Bands you guys were bonded over that you were like into and you were listening to in the car and stuff.
Yeah, tons.
I can't even think now.
Steph
Steph
showed me
head,
loads.
put on the spot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's
Yeah, well,
A lot of
numerous.
soundtracks.
Not a good question to ask.
Yeah.
we'll have to give each other like a little list of bands to listen to like afterwards, because I know like loads and loads of folk bands. I'd be interested to know if you guys knew, and if you didn't, I'm pretty sure you'd like them.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yes, please.
have you heard of like an American artist called In Gowan Ring by any chance?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I think you guys would love it. It's
Yes,
like
please.
psychedelic, dark folk, like very nature-y folk.
The darker and grittier, the better. Psychedelic.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going for album number 2. We're going to go
Yeah.
like prog folk next album. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like a one-man sort of group. He just calls himself In Gowan Ring, and he's got like I don't know. He also does some stuff under the name Birch Book, but similar stuff. But it's like basically this guy. I think he lives off grid in the middle of the woods in America somewhere,
It sounds like you, Ian.
and I think he just.
Well, I don't live in America or off grid. This is his dream.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually does this, so I don't want to like slander the guy, but it just sounds like he does a lot of mushrooms and then writes a lot of songs in the middle of the woods. So I'm not saying he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it sounds
There's a
like.
balance.
You know? Yeah, but his songs are so delicate and so beautiful and so introspective. I would say he's one of my favorite artists of all time.
I will take anybody's favourite artist and give him a listen.
Yeah.
You got it. If they mean that much to somebody, then you got to give them a 5 minute.
Before you guys leave today, I'll show you like 1 or 2 songs by him, because I'm sure you'd
Yes,
like
please.
it.
better do.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry. Whenever you put someone on the spot, it's hard to think, isn't it? So yeah, if you guys can't think of any particular bands that you guys have
Just
like,
generally quite an indecisive mind.
yeah, no, fair enough.
Oh, favourite. I can't. You can give you my favourite
A
food
lot of
right
it
now.
is
Go
like
ahead.
film, like because I just go on to my Spotify list
Yeah.
from
film
ages.
scores.
Like
Yeah, we both
a
love film
lot of
scores.
it is film scores for me, or game soundtracks.
So it's weird, like Hans Zimmer, Ludovica Einaudi.
Hans Zimmer's a bit
Rimmer.
more like
Yeah.
X-rated, mate.
Steph showed it me. I didn't know.
I Hans Rimmer.
I just showed her Hans Zimmer, and then she showed me something else.
That's his brother. That's a different genre. That's great.
That's the post-Watershed version.
Baz Luhrmann and all the kind of cinematic kind of love all of that. I mean, I think it's kind of the folky. It's the storytelling, but through film again, isn't it? So it's
But it's like refreshing because when I showed him stuff, like normally people just go like, oh yeah, cool.
They're entertaining you, but they're not actually.
Yeah,
into
but
it.
everything I got inspired about, and it was like the stories had come to my head without even songs with lyrics.
Yeah.
And I'd just like transport myself into that, and I can see it all in my head like a film. He'd get passionate about it as well and be like, that's the way I think. So we'd just non-stop talk. It's just ADHD heaven. Brilliant.
That's amazing. I didn't realise
she gets me shaking.
Slow down.
I didn't realise that you guys had only been together for like 7 months, because I feel like you've already made a pretty good name for yourself, like locally at least, like in that time.
It's
been crazy.
It's a bit scary.
We're quite overwhelmed, to be fair. Yeah. It booked a couple of random last minute weekend gigs, and from there just flew a bit more. Again, we posted the cover of Jolene from playing one of the gigs and got like within a couple of weeks it was over 20,000 views for something new. That was we were just like
yeah. I mean that is insane,
and that was we weren't even meant to be screaming about covers. There was never meant to. We were going to do covers to support ourselves financially till we could get our own music written.
Sure.
So, but now we kind of shot ourselves in the foot that we keep on getting employed to do function sets for 2 hours, and we kind of sneak in half an hour of originals in it, and we get away with it, but it's still not us, and people are employing us for the kind of the wrong reasons now, and we end up So
you're trying to like transition out of that.
Trying to transition out of it. So we built a name for ourselves, but mainly probably more likely as a cover band than actually what we want to be.
For now.
Yeah.
But we are like watering it down.
It's publicity, isn't it?
Stuff.
So it's getting a name out there for yourself.
Yeah, sure. And I think a lot of bands like start like that. Even bands like Metallica back in the day, they made a name for themselves covering
still have half a cover set,
like Motorhead songs and Misfits songs and stuff. But I remember like hearing an interview with James and Lars saying that like they just wouldn't tell people necessarily. They wouldn't be dishonest about it, but they wouldn't say live that they were covers. But they were playing like
you just chuck them in the set.
Yeah. And then they like at first it was like more than 50% of their set lists were covers, and then obviously they just slowly sort of filtered them out. Yeah.
What is nice is that like the pubs and places that we played at, they always say like, like people don't really play those covers. Like we don't just play the like Mr. Brightside.
Oh my god!
Never ever. I mean, we're
if I
folk
hear Mr.
anyway.
Brightside one more time,
it's just like, don't swear at me, please. It's horrible.
Yeah.
We play the sort of covers of like the Fleetwood Mac ones.
It's still songs that we like rather than trying to play to make you
if
dance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's what we. Yeah.
If you like it, happy days.
I think Jolene's probably one of the most mainstream ones that we do.
It's a great song as well.
I mean, you can't not like it.
Bit of
Have
Dolly.
you heard it slowed down half?
Yeah.
I like
Jolene.
that, and it sounds like almost like hip hop.
Well, that's also what we do with like some of the covers that we'll take it apart and
we don't go
we'll
hip-hop,
rearrange it. Bit of rap. Yeah, we do covers in a way that people like.
Rapped.
Oh, that's.
I've seen you rap. You have rapped.
Oh yeah, I have done like a '90s tribute band once. It was pretty insane.
Yeah.
I did not think I was capable, and there we are.
I think that's
Steph's rapping.
One of the great
Northern
best
rap.
things about music, though, isn't it? Is it's just fun. So if you can like experiment with different stuff, like me and Drew have made some really just random songs. We went through a stage where we used to do this thing on a Thursday where we would just try and write a song from scratch together in about 4 hours on a Thursday, and we did it every Thursday for about 6 weeks. Obviously, it's hard to maintain for like a very long period of time, but like just completely from scratch. So we come in, no idea, write something and record it, like all within like sort of 4 hours.
Love that idea.
But the two songs,
impulsive writing kind of.
Yeah. But two songs in particular. One was called Apocalyptic World, and the other one was called Tome of Woe, and both of them were so weird. Like they are so weird. It's like they are like try and put a genre on that. But I think that's the whole like fun with music. Like you don't necessarily need to pigeonhole yourself, do you? It's no. Just have fun with it.
It's art. Yeah. Paint your own picture, literally. Yeah.
Just like have fun with it. Yeah. So it's like you don't have to just play the same genre all the time. With your guys saying you play some covers that aren't like that well known. What are your favourite like songs to play live that aren't your own?
Oh, I really like Running Up That Hill.
It sounds great in a northern accent. Running up that hill.
Running up the hill.
I love running up that hill.
I actually, that's
It's
ironic.
not even that. It's just running uphill. That's
Running uphill.
Ill.
And that's ironic because I hate running, especially up hills. So, but I like the song.
it's a clever written song, and it's got a nice melody, and
We just
it's
slow
oddly
it right
written.
down. We slow it down, and you know, I mean, when I was on solo singer originals, I used to bulk some of my set out with a lot of covers, and I'd do like covers of Rammstein and Slipknot, but like go on the piano and strip it right back down, and people are like, you know, you get elderlies like come. I actually love that. That made me cry. Who's it by? And I'm like, Slipknot.
Sad song.
It's about the music can, you know, just because it's performed in that way, it doesn't mean that it can't be performed in that way. Like, actually listen to the lyrics, but sometimes different genres put people off of...
I think a lot of people wouldn't listen to the lyrics or have the ability to
Yeah.
withstand
And
listening
that's
to the
what I love
lyrics and that,
about it.
and they would shove it off for that straight away, but they don't
Yeah.
actually realise the person who's shouting at them
Yeah.
angry is actually saying
And that's
something
what we
quite
kind of do.
meaningful.
Running Up That Hill is what... that one's a nice one that we do.
I don't think I've heard you guys' version of that. I would love
Hang
to
on.
at some point.
I've got a list here of set lists. What's the other one? We do... Still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah.
That one always gets people emotional. And
It's not my
going,
favourite, but I
"That's
do like the
nice."
crowds reacting because we play it very slowly again, and it's always a good singer, and it's nice to see people singing back at stuff.
Yeah.
What's your favourite one?
I don't have one.
You don't have
Just
one?
like them all.
I don't have a favourite anything. I'm very unfavourite as people. You're not going to get a favourite or what have you listened to. I can't think in that kind of straight line. I like the folky ones, but then they're not really covers because they're old folk ones that we're reigniting.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like almost like part of like our heritage, just as people.
Well,
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
the amount of folk artists that so we played Wild Mountain Time. The amount of people. Seth Lakeman's done it. The lady Kate Rusby's done it.
It's an
Eliza
old
Carthy's
folk
done
song.
it.
It's
The
lovely.
I think
longest
Marina
John,
McKenna, I think, has done it.
the longest
yeah.
Johns are just they've all got it on their album because it's copyright free, but it is a beautiful song. It's like I think it's folk as long as you put your own spin on it. You're not trying
There's
to
so
cover
many
somebody
different
directly.
versions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But I think I tell you, a lot of these old folk like ballads, nobody knows who wrote them in the first place, do they?
No,
you know,
no.
It's like it's just like, which is quite a sort of I don't know. In a way, I love that mystery as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some awesome, some crazy bard like hundreds and hundreds of years ago just came up with this thing, and then it just became almost like a part of like our heritage.
You say heritage. I kind of love the way that we kind of don't change this. You can have something that's written 400, 500 years ago, and it still has relevance now. As maybe he might be talking about weird things that we don't have around today, but there's still the same life feelings and the same things are going on, or government
'cause humans
land
don't
grabbing
change.
and all
Yeah.
sorts. And yeah.
Humans don't change, but the world and the technology around us do. But you always feel the same as...
We are still humans.
Yeah,
You know what
people
I
have the
mean?
same emotions, still going through the same types of
Exactly.
grief, whether it's like losing a loved one, whether it's like a partner that you hasn't worked out, or like, you know, the death of a loved one, or whatever. You know, any
Yeah.
sort of like tragedy or
You can't ever
emotional
take that.
grief.
That's always going to happen. Always.
Yeah.
I was talking about happy things too. It didn't have to be sad.
I remember seeing the other day like one of these like like a video that's been all colorized and everything, but it was from like I think it was like 1800s.
Oh, I like it when they do that.
Yeah, and the when you saw it with that clarity, like the people, did just look exactly the same. You saw their expressions, and it's not like that sped up movie, like when you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
a video and it's all sped up. It wasn't like that. It was just like taking a little snapshot into that time, and yeah, people just their expressions and the way they were walking, it's like they looked different, but you could tell that they were just like living their just
Yeah.
normal lives in their own
They're
ways.
just
So
like
it was
me.
yeah. So cool.
Just
Yeah.
in posher outfits.
Yeah.
I like the
Say
fashion.
posher.
I
Oh,
love
100%.
posh.
I think that's a good thing with like with folk music as well. It's almost like some of these artists that really do go out their way. We were talking earlier on before we came on air about like, you know, Fairport Convention, who were one of the, you know, the most famous bands for doing
Pioneers.
this. But yeah, it's almost like trying to mine gold. So they're like looking through just old newspaper articles from like Portsmouth from the 1600s and stuff, and just trying to find, you know, they might find like a little newspaper clipping with just some lyrics and stuff, and that, you know, and then like maybe because of the folk revival in the 60s, those songs are well known to us now, but there might have been a period of like 200 years where those songs weren't played once.
Without them, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
So there's still some songs that the Fairport are still doing it now. They're still scrolling the archives. They're still going. Yeah, the E-Rag ones, like I said earlier, they're very much the Irish version of that. They take some old Irish songs.
We've had a day before where we've like looked at some old books and just gone right through them and just been like, you know, what, this is interesting. Let's bring that back
we
to
take
life.
inspiration from old poems, and we kind of do go for old songs, but we haven't really fully rewritten or restructured anything yet.
Right.
There's you're talking about Fairport. So what I want to do at the moment, Fairport did a song called Farewell, Farewell. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Probably heard it.
You definitely heard it if you know Fairport. They stole it was one of the Sandy songs. They stole the melody from an old Willie Winsbury is what it's originally from.
I know. Yeah,
you know Willie Winsbury.
Yeah.
So is that melody, but they've sung Farewell, Farewell over it and made it into a huge, massive pop hit. I think Pentangle also stole it as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
They were very.
If
one does one, they just steal it off each other. Oh, we're going to do it better than you now.
Yeah, Pentangle, Steel Eye Span, and as you know, Fairport and like Fotheringay, they're all sort of related. I think like there's like certain members of the bands that were like in other members of the bands.
Peggy, I think the bassist has played for all of them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's now the Fairport bassist, but he started off in Pentangle, and he was Jethro Tull's bassist as well for a bit.
Yeah. And I think one of the original members of Fairport founded Steel Eye Span as well. I can't remember which one it was. If it was like the bassist or the guitarist.
I think that was Ashley Hutchins again.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Very interesting. Going back to what you were saying about like film scores, how you both liked them. What was like sort of the film scores you used to listen to that you would bond over? I know you said older Hans Rimmer.
Old Hans Rimmer.
But what sort of like any particular movie, like movie scores?
Well, we both cried at The Gladiator.
The soundtrack.
Who
it's just a soundtrack. I can listen to Now We Are Free.
Oh my God. It just unlocks you.
It has nothing to do with the film whatsoever. I do just love the soundtrack. I mean, I like the film. I don't dislike the film, but the film I don't believe has actually made me cry itself. But that Now We Are Free. People say it's by Enya. It's not Enya. It never was Enya, but it gets put down as Enya. It's very Enya vibes, but it's not Enya at all.
Oh, that's an artist that I showed you, and you were like, I know this. And I was like, yes, Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And then that all goes back to all
that's
that
such
stuff.
a great
score.
score.
A massive Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Howard Shaw's, his score for Lord of the Rings is insane.
Beautiful music. Once again, I could cry to that as well. I'm an emotional man.
It's like what is it? The Ride of the Rohirrim one, the one that's like that's like so like sad. Or like the March of the Rohirrim, where Theoden gives that speech and then they're like freaking going for it. Oh man, that tugs my heart.
Just makes you want to stand on like the Valley of the Rocks and just look into the wind.
Yeah, your hair blowing in the wind.
I'm badass.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Badass. So you say to yourself when you listen to Lord of the Rings, I'm badass.
Put myself up every morning.
I tell you what's probably like my favourite potentially piece of like film music is The Last
Oh yes.
Mohicans. The score that the Clan had wrote for it.
The Kiss.
Insane.
That's our favourite. That's our favourite.
Was that written by Trevor Jones?
Because it was Trevor Jones. It is Trevor
possibly
Jones.
rearranged by Trevor Jones.
Yes.
I think he's taken like possibly an old trad tune and just put score behind it.
Because Clan had this sort of half. Obviously, they did No Matter Where You Go. They wrote that, didn't they? And some of the other tracks for the movie. But then I know Trevor Jones wrote.
I think Clan were heavily involved in Braveheart as well. To be fair,
love Clan.
Were they?
Yeah.
I watched their last ever gig a couple of weeks back.
What?
They played their last ever gig at the Royal Albert Hall in London.
Have they finished?
Yep, their last ever gig they did.
You went to the Royal Albert Hall to see them as well.
It was my first ever time going, and it was insane. I can't tell you, it was insane.
Man.
The thing is, as well, I don't know if you guys are at all familiar with this 80s fantasy show. It's considered, it's not a very well-known show, but it's considered quite like a pioneering show nowadays, almost like a, before obviously the days of Game of Thrones and shows like this. In the 80s, there was a British program called Robin of Sherwood. Out, and it was a very pagan mystical take on the Robin Hood story.
Nice.
Where and Clannad, the reason why Clannad, one of the reasons they originally got big was because they did the music for the entire television program.
That suits.
And
the
I think
story.
at the time it had the record for the biggest budget ever in a program. So it was like millions of pounds per season. And this is back in the day. I think like £2 million per season, and this was like in the early 80s.
That's insane.
And Clannad wrote all the music for it, and insane, beautiful folk music, but also because obviously it was 80s with a bit of synth in, which is very Clannad-y. But I love it. I think it somehow works. I think it's great. But it's great. I think you guys would love it. I think the show's charming, and I was sort of brought up on it. My mum and dad used to watch it when I was a little kid, and it's all like, in this sort of rendition of the story, like Robin was Robin in the Hood, as he's known more in that show. He was like picked by Herne the Hunter. Yeah.
Something
you said pagan. I'm now thinking different.
It's like that show like Leprechauns, like the horror movie like Leprechauns, and there's like like every movie gets worse, like every horror movie sequel, and then there's like Leprechauns 3 in the Hood, and it's like at that point it's like a leprechaun running around like fighting gangsters in the street. No. Yeah, it sounds way more ghetto than it is. But
that sounds awesome. That sounds something like that I would watch.
In this rendition, he's like picked by Herne the Hunter, who in Druidic paganism, like the paganism of the British Isles traditionally, is like a forest god essentially. He's picked by Herne the Hunter. And it's amazing whenever Herne comes on the screen in the television program, like Clannad has got this epic music that plays. and he sort of like picks him to be like the hooded man and fight for the for the innocent and things like that. And then it's like the typical sort of story in some ways. So they're fighting the Sheriff of Nottingham and Sir Guy of Gisborne, but it's very magical and mystical and pagan, and it's amazing.
Some weirdness.
But yeah,
I love it.
It's their gig at the Royal Albert Hall, their last ever gig, coincided with the 40th anniversary of the Legend of the album they wrote for that series, which is called Legend. So they re-released the album, but with a part 2 of all this like music they recorded back in the day, but then they lost the analog tapes. And then I think it was like from some studio in Ireland, which was being shut down last year, and then they found the analog tapes. So they've re-released the album with like a part 2 essentially, with all this like unreleased music that has never been released. Nice. And they played the whole entire album from beginning to end in the Royal Albert Hall, which I was like loving because it's my favourite Clannad album. And then had a little intermission, and then played all their classics afterwards, like Last Mohican Tracks and Harry's Game and all of that when they came back. And they finished it off actually with some songs they said that they hadn't played since they were literally on that small sort of like folk pub Irish circuit back in the day, and it was like proper happy, jiggy little like Irish, and it was amazing. Honestly, it was like it was like such a great experience.
I'm so jealous. I didn't know they were even stopping.
Yeah. I think they must be. I mean, they must be getting on a bit now.
They're on.
I think they're like. I think they're 70s.
I would say they're
in their 70s. Yeah.
Fairport are in their 70s, and they're definitely the same era, same time.
I think
Harry's Game was one of the first, pieces of music that I heard that went, oh, what's this? And my nana was like, that's sort of Irish stuff. Like, it's in your blood stuff. Like, and there's no wonder your feet are tapping.
Yeah.
And then I then went on to learn how to Irish dance.
Wow. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
You should break it out, like when you're gigging.
When I've had a little bit too much, when I've had a lot to drink, I'm like, Ian, and she's like, you go, oh God, she's going. She's going to Irish dance. It's coming back out.
She's going.
I had to stop.
Why?
Because I had arthritis in my big toes.
She's an old lady in a young girl's body.
At like 16 years old.
That's really random, isn't it? Really randomly that it's just your big toes.
It's just the big toes.
So it almost makes it sound comical, do you know what I mean?
So bad. I was like, Mum, I love dancing, but...
Curse my arthritic toes.
They kept clicking out when I put the hard shoes on.
Yeah.
They kept clicking out. And it was I had to stop dancing and pop it back in, and it got too much. So then when I went for an x-ray, the doctor was like, you've got arthritis in your big toes. I was like, both of them? I'm 16.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, but... I said, well, can I carry on dancing? And he was like, well, you could, but you might have to, you might have to end up freezing your toes. Like, actually...
Just put them in a freezer.
Just so they don't move. And I was like, well, then I couldn't dance anyway. He's like, no. I was like, all right then. I'll play instead then.
Yeah,
I'll play and sing.
Stick to singing, yeah.
Song about that. That's so
yeah.
Oh, my toes.
Yeah.
No, you start.
Don't freeze my toes. Don't freeze my twisted cursed toes.
But yeah.
The curse of the big toe.
I used to dance to that.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think like going back to Clannad though.
Oh yeah, no, we will go right off.
Oh no, that's good.
Just where
that's
our
good.
brains go.
That's where you find the magic, isn't it? I always think like
in my toes.
Yeah, in the big toes is where you find the magic. But I think fair play to Clannad, because even if it's like not everyone's cup of tea, they to become as successful as they became as like a folk band, sort of like. I mean, they must be like the biggest folk band of all time, surely.
Yeah, one of them for sure.
I wouldn't like to say, but yes,
But
definitely.
do you know what I mean? Probably in terms of like worldwide recognition. I think you could go to so many countries. Like, I don't think that like I'm not really sure how successful like Fairport and bands like that were in America, but I know in Clannad, really broke into the mainstream in America.
Like Richard Thompson ran off and became huge, and I think that's why he kind of. Yeah. I mean, he's probably bigger in America. I think his Vincent Black Lightning is probably America's most all-time listened song possibly, and he's a guitar. He's a little old folky guitarist from England.
That's so cool, isn't it?
And he played with the band. He played with Bob Dylan. So he left Fairport to go and do that basically. But then I don't think he found his fame. But no, Clannad, I think they also did the tour with Riverdance when that first came out as well. I'm pretty sure they were heavily involved with that. So
okay.
They've been everywhere. The publicity of that as well, and Michael Flatley, and that was a global phenomenon. And if they're on that,
I love Riverdance. That was on VHS.
Another thing we like.
On VHS when I was little, we used to put it on. I didn't even know what it was. I must have been about 5 years old. And we just kept putting VHSs in.
Yeah, as you do.
And Riverdance always got me. I was like, I don't even know what this is about. but I like it. And then
I've
it's
never
just always
seen
stuck
it.
with me.
I've
Are
never
you
seen it.
joking?
I don't think so. Not like
Yeah,
not properly.
As well. My mum did.
Right.
Heavily dramatic.
And I'm like, I don't know what they're doing, and I love the dancing, but it's the music that got me. And there's a story to it. We were talking about this the other day.
We were, yeah.
How it's like, because I was like, because when I'm driving to gigs, I'm like, put that one on, because he's got control of the music and he'll surprise me. Or sometimes we found something really rubbish and we're like, what is that?
Too many times.
Yeah. Get that off. But I went, put Warrior on, and he went, from what? And I went Riverdance, and he was like, nice. And as soon as it comes on, it's like I can see it all in my head. And we were talking about the storyline to do with it, how it's like a fight, but they dance.
Nice.
Fight dance.
Fight dance.
Fight.
So, yeah,
Dancing via fighting. Yeah,
it's very
fighting
dramatic,
music.
very intense. And then with all kind of the Irish fiddles, there's kind of the music's having a war, they're having a war. It's kind of what's the
It's a story through dancing.
what's the Andrew
song.
Lloyd Webber? I don't want to compare it to that,
What
but
is
it's
that?
like that. The America. I want to be in America. kind of that, but
West Side
dance. Yeah, West
Story.
Side, that's the one. Yeah.
I like West
It's
Side
kind of like
Story.
that, but Irish and 10 times more dramatic without all the cheese and it's
It's
all right.
lush.
It's
I
all
love
right.
it.
Without the cheesy musical as such. I mean, I don't mind a cheesy
I
musical.
remember getting my
but-
recorder and trying to like mimic it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I've never properly
Dude.
seen it. I've seen
Oh,
it's
it's
one of those things
great.
I've seen. Little
If you're
clips
into
of it.
Clannad and you haven't, it's strange.
touring at the
Strange that you've
moment.
done one without the other.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, isn't?
It's on tour at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Take your new wife.
Yeah, man. I know that isn't like Enya like the cousin of like one of the cousins of one of the members of Clannad or something.
I
like
don't
that?
know.
I would probably say so.
I think so. I think she's like the younger cousin of like the lead singer of Clannad or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think she might have even sung with them at some point.
I reckon.
Or,
Yeah.
or been on tour with
Enya's
them.
sung with everybody. We're playing with Enya next week.
Don't tell them that now. Oh, you've ruined it. I wish. Can you imagine?
No. I
You
wouldn't
never know.
get a word in sideways.
I
They're like, Ian, go off you go.
actually
See, like,
love-
you just carry on singing all day. Yeah.
Did you guys like grow up in like musical families? Did you have like any members of your families that are like musical, or was it not?
I grew up, but both of my parents have got a very good ear, I would say, but nobody plays a musical instrument in my family.
Same with me.
I had an urge to
Really?
play guitar from about the age of 6, and they bought me a little crappy one and said I got to learn. I wanted to play like Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix at the time, and they said no.
So you actively asked for a guitar as
I
a
begged for it
present?
for years. Took me
Really?
years, I tell you.
So but by 6 years old, you knew you really wanted a guitar, and that's what you wanted.
I was playing at 6. I wasn't playing. I was playing like Drunken Sailor, like
Yeah.
Just
We do that,
just
right?
singular, yeah, but just a singular line on one string.
Yeah, sure.
And then under, I think the second song I learned was like "Summer Lovin'" by Grease. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Played that for years and thought I was amazing. Thought I was probably the best guitarist in the world till I was about 12, and then went to secondary school and was like, "Bugger, other people play guitars too. What's going on? No."
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody found. I said they both got a really good ear for music, and I think they've got both really good music taste. But no,
And
they both got well. I probably come from a more sporty family. Brother and dad more football players, rugby players, and I mean I did that for a bit, but it wasn't me.
It just wasn't floating your boat as much as music.
No.
And did you say, what was it, like Jimi Hendrix and that was the people that inspired you? Like,
who
who inspired you to play music?
I like my folk. Once again, I can't give you a straight answer.
And that was right from like your childhood, like as
I
far as
always
remember.
like my folk. I like everything.
And did your parents play that? Is that how you heard it? Or?
Probably the folkiest they played. You said them earlier. They played "Still I Span." They kind of played "All Around My Hat" and other couple of things, but not. That wasn't. I think youngest what I got about Eva Cassidy kind of. I suppose that's folky-ish. That's my dad's kind of cup of thing.
Okay.
And that's hence why I like playing with ladies with pretty voices.
Thanks.
Only sometimes.
Your mum knows a lot. Like she. So Ian's mum, Jill. She's so lovely and beautiful person. She comes to most of our gigs.
Really?
And she'll
She's a good
she'll stay there like she's never heard us before.
Oh,
and
it's amazing.
Ian's like, yeah, she's been to like she's
Good
done
old mum,
festivals.
Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
She's
man.
just such a little rock chick at heart. I love her.
Great to have a mum like that.
But she's very cultured with music.
It's all right
Like,
sometimes.
stay home, mum.
Depends where you
I
take
love
it
it.
to.
I'm like, Ian, your mum's here. He's like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
mum's
know.
here. Oh, there we go again.
I love it.
Can you remember, Ian, like there ever being like a specific time where you thought being sort of like falling in love with music, or is it just like from literally your earliest memories? Just
Always love music. Never not. No, used to hate. Weirdly, now we spoke about earlier before we came on that I kind of listen to folk for the lyrics kind of now. Didn't like lyrics at all till probably about 21, 22.
Oh, really?
It was always sussing out the music in the background, I appreciate the melody and I hum the melody, but I never had a care what you were singing about.
Drew's like that as well.
It's only through like deeper times, older, I don't know, I was taken actually. I still don't necessarily agree with the way they were written, but I learned to appreciate their story now. But when I'm still listening to it, and I can either do one or the other. So I can intently nowly focus on the lyrics and appreciate them, but I'll be blanking out everything else.
Yeah.
Or I can do what I usually do, and I'll be like, the bass is doing this, the guitar's doing that, the synth's doing that. And
that's what Drew's like, because we will chat before, and we'll be listening to a song, and be having to it, and I'm like, man, the lyrics in this is insane. And Drew's like, man, I'm not even like focusing on the saying. What are they even on about?
But it annoys me as well because I feel like I'm really missing something with that because I know how special things.
I was just about to say you can I think you can be overcritical and over analytical. That you start taking it apart too much and you've actually forgotten what the song was about altogether and you just ripped it apart and you're like, oh crap. I've just ruined the song for myself.
Was there like, I know you said that you didn't really have like favourites or anything, but was there like one band you can remember watching when you were younger and you just sort of like, I'm loving this, like this is like that you would like attribute to inspiring you to become a musician yourself?
I think what totally changed me, so when going into secondary school, I was being a bluesy / folky solo guitarist getting to secondary school. I think most of us, all four of us on this table, I think would say the same, found metal quite a young age. So we got into a live metal band. There was three for me, the big at the start. Really loved Pantera, Iron Maiden, and Ozzy. Then got heavier and darker as it went down.
What were you guys called?
We were called Eschematic Jack back in the day.
Eschematic Jack.
This is a long time ago.
Were you from around here originally?
I grew up on the Blackdown Hills in a pub.
Right.
And then moved to Taunton, and now I live on the Quantock Hills.
Right. Nice.
I haven't moved far. No, not at all.
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, that's a nice area, man.
Yeah.
Neither have I, mate. Neither have I.
No, I don't.
Don't stray too far from the show.
But she's northern. She's from up Preston.
Yeah.
She moved all the way down here.
So why did you move down here, Steph?
My mum met a lovely man who was better.
Fair play.
And he's just lovely.
And he was just randomly up from Somerset.
Honestly, it's one thing for you to take on a strong-headed northern woman, but to take one on and 3 kids, who are all women as well, he's done a good job.
Oh, fair play. So how did they meet then? What was he, just up north, just randomly, or?
So they met.
He just like
Tinder.
He just strayed. Tinder, yeah.
Do you remember when this is going to make me sound so old. Do you remember when the internet first came about?
Steph, you weren't even around then.
Yes, I was. I was little.
How old are you, Steph? How old are you, Steph? Do you mind me asking? It's rude to ask a lady, but I know you're already young, so it's not that rude.
30 in March.
Oh, yeah, so you're by far the youngest person in this room, then.
Am I?
Yeah.
Really?
Me and Drew are 34. I'm 35 later in a couple of months.
Oh, you suck, all of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out.
No, I'm 29. You don't look that.
Mate, you don't look any older than me, do you?
I'm 38.
We never grow older in our heads anyway.
Yeah, somewhere around
Yeah,
when... Stop counting, don't you?
I gave up at 20, dude.
Yeah.
I'm still 20 right now. That's all.
In all of our heads, we're like fresh out of school. We're still the young guys around here.
Is that a good thing? Or is that like, did we peak too early and now we're just trying to live our heyday?
Yeah.
No.
Ignorance is bliss, man. Ignorance is bliss,
Oh, no.
Is this the best it's going to get?
Yeah. He's been
I feel like a 12-year-old body,
He's been saying that for like 15 years, man. Oh, I'm just waiting to fill out.
I
think I grew my first chest hair the other week. It's all right.
I love it. Yeah, they started chatting on. It was like
in the early days of Tinternet.
Yeah, it was like like an Omegle, but not an Omegle. It was like the first.
What is an Omegle?
You know what Omegle? It's like you don't know who you're gonna meet.
No, do you know Harry Mack? Have you ever seen Omegle bars?
I've only heard dirty things about it.
What is an Omegle? I don't know. I'm a simple soul.
He freestyles at people on a
Yeah.
I saw that.
There's loads of musicians that. So it's basically like a chat room, but you don't know who you're going to chat with.
Yeah, people just.
It's called
there's
Omegle.
One called chat roulette as well, and they'll just like.
I'm old school, guys. I just like meet people.
But you can imagine what kind of people abuse that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you just rock up
there
on
are
the
some
screen.
dodgy ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get a huge
Steph's mum and dad.
Like,
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, I think I saw a video of like a girl and like Kermit the Frog was like on it, and then like a little cucumber rose.
No!
And she was like, "Oh, why are you doing this to me?" I was like, and the guy was doing a really good Kermit impression as well, which made it hilarious. I was like, "What? Come on."
No, ruined.
Yeah.
Well,
that was funny.
my mum and dad didn't do that, but
No, it was your dad with the Kermit the Frog.
no, I love the Muppets. I love
Yeah,
the
me
Muppets.
too.
So you like sort of you log on and you don't know who's going to pop up, and you've got a little chat.
That's rolling the dice. That's Russian roulette, isn't
it's
it?
like
You know?
it's like an M&S, but M&S.
M&S.
MS. It's like MSN.
Yeah.
You used to get home from school, go on
Yeah.
MSN Messenger.
Legendary days.
And I remember my mum
legendary days.
going, "I'm talking to someone all the way in Somerset, and we're up here. Like, this is
As if
mad."
it's the other side of the world.
Yeah, it was. It was like
Yeah.
the first time. She even got in contact with someone in Australia once. I think it was Australia.
Oh, it could have been
And they
different.
sent us like Christmas cards and stuff. It was great.
Nice.
But yeah,
Good
she.
side of the internet.
Yeah, it was before it was tainted with bad
Yeah.
stuff. Don't go on it now. Kermit's on it a lot. It's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started chatting, and then they went to Glastonbury Festival together. Mum had never been to a festival like that before, so we went to Nana's and Grandad's, and Mum got on the train. She met Rich in person, and then she just came back so happy. My mum and dad up north, they were going for a divorce, and we got rid of him. Yeah,
See you later, mate. Yeah.
we got rid of him.
Laters.
I actually don't know where he is or what he's doing now.
Oh,
but,
okay.
but look at me.
Yeah.
And then, they just started chatting, and
What? So you literally
Before you
just,
know
just
it-
moved down here because of that? You just
well,
moved...
he kept so.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Kept on, god
Yeah.
damn it.
He'd come over for tea, and I didn't actually
Quite
realise.
a long way to travel just for tea.
I didn't
innit?
realise how far away that was, and
Yeah.
I remember Mum sitting us down, and me being the oldest, she was like, "Steph, I really like him," and I was like, "You're so I've never seen you this happy with," and she's like, "Yeah, this is what it should be like."
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just like, "Go for it," and she was like, "Yeah, but it's the kids first. You just tell me if you don't like." No, we like him. He talks like a farmer, and he's lovely. It was such a culture shock.
Yeah.
He brought his guitar for tea one day, and now I know, going up and down, I'm like, this is such a long way just to come for a cup of tea. And yeah,
Like,
he
he
wrote
was
my mum
clearly
a song. Yeah.
Oh, right. So he's a musician.
So that's my music side.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like, my music's always been close to me with my nana. John Denver we used to listen to in the summer, when you clean the cupboards for 50p.
Yeah.
Great. We used to just listen to John Denver a lot. And Aled Jones. I love Aled Jones.
Your nan and your granddad know all of the folk songs.
My
that you play
granddad
there.
That's
knows
amazing.
so many songs.
They already
My
know
granddad's
them.
actually
They're like, "Oh, we know that one."
Respect to them.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Respect to them.
actually a
That's
good
so cool.
singer.
That's so cool.
He can sing very.
What,
It's,
your grandfather?
yeah,
Oh, that's
he's
amazing.
a good singer.
He's a lovely gent.
Are they still living up north or?
They move with us.
Hey, I love
They're down in
that.
Kilf.
Yeah.
Mate, that is so sweet.
We're
That
all
is so sweet.
descending.
That is so sweet. That's amazing.
So yeah.
They live just around the corner from me. I live in Stagursey.
Ah, do you?
So your grandparents are right around the corner.
Literally just
from
round
me.
the
I live in
corner,
Stagursey.
Yeah,
You've got to
yeah.
say that.
Stagursey. Don't say Stagursey and Stagumber.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little bit more of a windy road, and you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we moved down, and then
So that was quite probably a big thing. So were you? How long ago was that? Were you still in school, or was your siblings in school?
I had
or?
just started year 7, and I was
Oh, so
all
you
that
were
and a bag of
really
potatoes.
young
I
then.
was the popular one. And it was great. And then
Up in Preston.
and then we moved, and
Down
it
here
was
and
good.
You talk weird. What?
It goes weird.
I bet
It
you
goes
got
so
that.
weird.
I bet you got that when you first came down here.
So many people are like, "Are you American? Irish?
American?
Yeah."
in educated
Because the
Somerset.
vowels,
Yeah,
the vowels don't change.
I'm so jealous that you kept your accent because
It
Drew's
comes
from
and goes.
Hartlepool.
we lived in Hartlepool and I had a proper northern accent, so Stockton on Tees,
When I met Drew,
That's
but
where I
I mean,
lived.
Hartlepool's about 30 miles north of Newcastle, so it's pretty much on the Scottish border. When I met Drew, we met in year 7. We've been friends for ridiculous amount of time, 24 years. He was like, "I'm Drew Armstrong from Hartlepool." He had
No way.
bleach blonde curtains. Somerset.
Yeah.
Somerset, because I didn't want to lose my
Yeah,
accent.
yeah.
I was
He
like-
did,
I was
he
just,
did.
you know,
It
and
does. You spend a
You
lot of
try too
time,
hard.
like when I go back up north, they're like, "You're so southern." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then when I've spent a lot of time up north, and then I come back down south, they're like, "Wow, you're really northern." I'm like, "I can't win," but
Yeah,
it comes and goes. When I get very angry, I'm like the Mad Hatter. I go full northern.
Yeah. Well,
It
to
just
this,
comes out.
Drew, because Drew's granddad is Scottish and he spent a lot of time with his grandfather growing up. When Drew gets drunk, he for some reason starts speaking in a Scottish
Right.
accent. Me and our other friends call it going full Drennan because Drew. That's just one of the words that Drew randomly says when he's wasted. He'll be like Drennan, Drennan. So we call it. So it's like Drennan, and then there's going full Drennan. Which
Yeah.
he went full Drennan at the wedding.
He,
at my
you,
wedding.
I was
I
gonna
think
say,
you
I'm pretty sure
actually
he must have seen
absconded. He just ran for the
Yeah.
hills at one point.
I think
He-
I sensed
yeah.
danger.
It's really weird. It was like raining as well, and he just left.
Yeah.
Just
Gone.
walked off.
My
Apparently,
sister came and picked me up, and I was just walking down the lane. And then
didn't you say that you just thought it was a random person, like,
Yeah, I thought a
and
random car
was
trying to
beeping
stop
at
us.
you?
I was like, "Relax,
he was
fuck
like
off."
he was like F off,
She was
like
"No, get in the car, get in the
get
car.
the coat idiot.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
But when I saw my dad, he's the musician.
Right. What was it like though? Sorry, I know you touched on it a little bit. So like moving down here, did we like? So what school did you go to? You
Hairgrove.
went to Tagrove, so that's the same school that me and Drew went to.
Ah,
But obviously we were left. So you're
probably.
so you're 29 now.
Yeah, I left in 2011.
Yeah, we left in 2006. So I think you probably started when the year we left, so we wouldn't have
No
crossed
way.
paths. Do you know people like do you know Drew's sisters by any chance, like Savannah Armstrong or Sherelle Armstrong?
I know she was in my year.
Savannah was.
Savannah Armstrong was in my.
Do you
She's
know?
29,
do you
right?
know?
I think so, yeah.
Do you know Lee
This is in your
Short?
year.
Do you know Lee Short?
No.
No, that's Emily's little brother. I think he was in the same year as Sav, and I don't know. He was either in your year or the year above. But yeah, Lee Short is
I need to look at pictures. I'm sure there was
Yeah.
a Savannah Armstrong. I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're quite.
In
I
my
mean, they're
year.
very loud girls.
Oh, Sav. Well, yeah, Sav is now. She was always a bit quieter in school.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When did
yeah,
she
yeah.
leave? Do you know how old your own sister is?
I think Sherelle is 4 years younger than us, so Sherelle would be 30, and Sav is a year younger than Sherelle.
There you
Yeah,
go.
she's 29.
She
She's
was in
29.
my
Yeah.
she
Rich
was
is
in my
planning her
year.
30th birthday at the moment, so yeah.
There you go.
29,
She's
30.
she was in the same
Might
year
have
as
been
me.
on the other, because they split the years up at Haygrove, didn't they? So like,
Yeah.
I knew a lot. I knew one half of the year a lot more than I knew the other half.
Me
Yeah, but in
too.
year 10 you
Oh, did you?
fuse.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
you fuse?
Oh, okay.
We become like combined twins.
Oh, okay, long ago now.
Well, that's what it was like in our year anyway, but it might have changed. I don't know. Was that like what it was like for you as well? Did you just
Yeah,
sort of merge?
there was.
Yeah.
Well, we had
A
like
merging.
forms, didn't we? Like
Yeah, so we were in L.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're telling everyone in depth now about
Yeah.
our school career.
I do find that.
School
Peak
life.
too early.
The
Peak too early.
people that
Yeah.
I've always been closest to, like friends, were all in my tutor group at school.
Yeah.
And I find it random, like how even all these years later, like they are the ones that I've like stayed closest mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier on about our mate Josh Ayest, who was the front man of Drew's old metal band Death by Kai, who's also happens to be my oldest mate because we also went to primary school with each other. I've known Josh since I was like 4 or 5. Like, yeah, we were in the same tutor group at school. Our good mate Nicky C, who was the drummer of Death by Kai. Yeah, he was
I
in the same
remember
tutor
Death
group.
by Kai.
Yeah, yeah.
My first boyfriend, he supported Death by Kai at Cherries.
Oh, really?
Cherry.
What band was
remember
that?
Cherries?
What band was, oh, of course, the Cherries days. They were quite legendary.
He was. Oh my god, he's gonna kill me now.
What band was that?
Whose band? I'm pretty
Alex's
sure I played
band.
with your
Alex's
Cherries as well.
first ever cover band.
That was in a different band. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Alex's
oh my
band is-
God, what
I
were they
didn't even know Alex
called?
was in a. It was a cover band,
Yeah,
and they played at Cherries.
yeah.
Not a metal band.
Well, they did a
It
little.
was just metal nights.
They did some.
It was like Padisian, them, us.
I
Padisian
swear
have
to
been
God,
there
I
for
was
years.
there.
Oh my God.
They did do some covers, some originals.
Yeah.
Because he wrote one about me, and I went, "Oh, you've written a song about me," and he's like, "Yeah, what's
Okay.
it called?" I was right.
That is hilarious.
I was right, and he was like, "No, I was right," because I asked you out over and over again, and you kept saying no, 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 and then eventually you said yes, and now look at us. I think we were going out for like nearly 9
it's
years,
not
and he
that
was
bad
like,
then.
"I was right." I was like, "You wanker." But yeah, it was
That
good.
is
It was good. It
hilarious.
was good.
That's
I
so-
can't remember what they were called now.
Yeah, I think at one stage, Death by Kai were probably like the biggest metal band in town, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like for a few years.
Yeah.
They're pretty big.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Cadence.
The Cadence. That's
Never
what I have to say.
They were called the
I have to
Cadence.
say I never heard of them.
No, they
And
went around
no
for a while.
disrespect, but
I think they did like a handful of gigs, and then that was like, well, that was fun.
right. Oh, fair enough.
But yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah. So what was it like though? Like as I said, like you know,
It was a
joining
culture shock.
Haygrove. What was it like for your siblings as well? What was it like for them? All
So
sisters.
my youngest sister, she was only 18 months old when we moved.
Oh, okay.
And my middle sister, she's 2 years younger than me, so she was still in primary. But we had a primary school literally around the corner from our village,
Beautiful.
Boroughbridge. So she
Okay.
went there, and it was like she went from a massive primary school up north to, I don't know if you know Boroughbridge,
A little bit.
but when it was a primary school,
Mm.
it was just
About 20
literally,
kids.
in the whole school,
Yeah.
20 kids.
Like a classroom. Yeah. With
So
the
in
schools.
Rachel's year, there was like 3 kids in her whole year.
That's insane. Yeah, that is insane.
And it was just such a lovely little like.
So much like
What
that must
is
be so
this?
good for the kids though. Do you know what I mean? Like you get a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
attention and stuff.
yeah. And her teacher was Northern, Miss.
Oh, that's all right
Russell,
then. So
Mr.
she
Russell.
had like a nice little safety
Yeah.
blanket.
Nice
Yeah.
transition.
She was teacher's pet.
Yeah.
Loved it.
What was your impressions of like Somerset when you first moved down?
It's warmer.
Right.
I remember when we used to travel just to visit.
It's like it's like being on holiday.
Yeah.
It's like the
I
Caribbean.
remember getting off the train going, this is so much warmer here.
Yeah,
Yeah. And there's lots of green.
Yeah.
I come from like a city of Preston, so.
Yeah, urban environment,
Yeah.
like more like industrial.
There are
urban.
some lovely countryside
You
areas.
have,
Oh, yes.
you have
but-
got the Lake District just outside.
I was
your
going to
door,
say,
that's
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like Lake District's insane.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, my family are originally from Cumbria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, from like Cumbria and the Isle of Man. So and I said,
Beautiful.
and Drew has said when I met him was from Hartlepool, and his family are originally from Scotland. So me and Drew in heart, we're both Northerners as well, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That's why I can wear a t-shirt on like today's weather.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is a culture shock. I
Yeah.
remember standing. I didn't like leaving my friends. That was a bit of a.
Yeah, of course.
It was a
I
bit.
bet all your
rubbish.
best
It's hard
friends
to
at the
do for
time.
anybody
Yeah.
at any time, I think. Yeah. Just uprooting
It's
is
very
hard for
strict.
anybody
It
at any time
was,
in your
and I
life,
was leaving all
But
of
when you're younger, it's
my
harder.
nana and my granddad were really close with nana and granddad.
So nice that they moved. How long after you guys
I
moved did
think
they move?
about 3 years, and then my
Right.
granddad went, right, we're coming down.
I've had enough of
And mum
this.
was like, what? Okay. They lived with us for a while until they found a little house. And then we moved across the road from my house that I live in now to a little, like, sort of cottage.
Mm.
And we all lived in there for a little bit.
Nice.
And then they found a little cottage in Kilve, and that's where they live now.
Do they like living in Kilve?
They love it. So my
Good.
granddad's like, he's super duper fit.
Right.
He's ex-military. He goes fell running. I go beating with him. Well, I don't now, but I used to go beating with him.
Beating children.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
You know what beating is?
Like
Like, so the shooters go in and shoot the pheasants, and
Right,
then the
pheasant
beaters. Yeah, the ruffians, the beaters. We just go into we tap the trees to make the pheasants fly out,
Right.
and then the shooters
Oh,
they shoot
cool.
them. But
And then
yeah.
do you take them home and eat them afterwards?
We always get a brace of birds. Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was nice.
Yeah, amazing.
But he's very, very active. Still does
Like
fell
to this
running.
day?
Still to this day. Well,
Legend.
like Grandad slowed down, but he never will.
How old is he now?
It's coming up to 70, I think.
Oh, shout out to your granddad. What's his name?
Steve.
Steve.
That's why I'm Steph.
So do you mind?
Stephen Corner.
He's got to be older than 70.
We've got to give him a shout out.
Big up, Steve.
He's got to be older than
Steve.
70. My mum and dad are over 70.
No, I think he's.
He is
actually
over
coming up
70.
to-
I'm going to say he's closer to 80.
Ian, up north, they have kids earlier, mate.
It's so
Hey,
true.
so did I.
It's younger.
My nana and granddad had 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, shout out to granddad.
Yeah, what a legend. Now he sounds like my kind of guy. I love.
Oh,
One of my favourite things to do is just like rushedly hike across the Quantocks, basically.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
he'll
That's my
go
favourite
out
thing.
even
Yeah.
now, and my nana will be like, "Your granddad's not back, you know." I'm like, "How long has he been out for?" And he'll just come over the hills with his dogs
Yeah.
and a stick and logs on his back, and you're like, "Granddad, slow down." He's like, "No."
I tell you what, though, no, it's probably keeping him healthy. It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
keeping him fit.
Yeah.
Drew's granddad's recently sort of deteriorated, but he started deteriorating when everyone sort of peer pressured him into stop playing golf, didn't they? And as soon as he stopped, it was like just
That's the
walking
thing.
those miles a week, carrying his golf clubs. It was just enough. As soon as he stopped,
You stop
all
at your
downhill.
limit.
He's always
Yeah.
been
All
yeah.
downhill. Yeah, once
He's
you-
used like fitness is like a therapy thing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know, it makes your head clearer. He's always done it.
Yeah. To be
Always
honest,
done it.
I'm similar. I need to work out because I'm quite hyper, and I've always been hyper. Like it was like when I was a little kid, it was always like my school report was like Calum's a pleasant lad, but he's very hyper and very disruptive, you know. So like I just need to exhaust myself.
Yeah.
So if I'm not hiking, I just want to like lift weights and do push-ups and stuff like that. And as I said, like, you know, just purely as like a therapeutic thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly enjoy going to commercial gyms, so I sort of built myself a gym at my house, so I can just like listen to whatever music I want to. You know, if any of my friends want to work out with me, then cool, we can do that together. Or my missus, you know, or you know, just have my daughter there with me, and yeah, just I love it. I need to do it.
But
for
this
my
is,
sanity.
you know, Somerset is so beautiful. I mean, they live in Kilve, so it's on their doorstep.
Yeah.
You know, he sees the
Just leave
deers and
it's amazing.
love
It's
it.
beautiful. Yeah, I think that's one of the nice things as well, like having a kid. You know, I've got like one of those like backpacks where you put your kid in.
How's the kid?
Yeah.
She's just she's gonna be 5 in a couple months.
Oh,
We saw her
exciting,
dancing
Calum.
at the wedding.
No,
They
yeah.
made a little circle for
Oh, I
her.
remember.
She
I
was like,
just couldn't remember how old she was.
Yeah,
some
she.
shit.
I remember she was young. It was-
She's very hyper as well. She's got the hyper bug. She was like dancing non-stop, wasn't she? She
Oh,
was
yeah.
like loving it. Yeah,
Oh,
she's a party animal. Yeah.
not scared at all. She's like, everyone
No.
watch me. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is my kind of girl.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's so nice to just be able to carry. You know, she'll walk us, you know, a couple of miles, and when she gets tired, I'll put her in a little baby backpack, and then I'll just like carry her another like 3 or 4 miles across the Quantocks. And it's such a nice thing to do with your kid, you know. Have a little flask of tea in your
love
bag
it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Nice and
Hot
I was. I
chocolate.
was just like, no, you walk.
Yeah. Fair play, man.
I'm tired.
They
No,
walk
you're
for
not.
miles now. They don't.
Yeah, I bet they're better off for it, you know.
I don't
fitter
know.
now, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The daughter doesn't come out anymore at all. She said, no, we're not going for another 20-mile walk. Yes, we are.
I love it. It's so much nicer down south. I do miss the north sometimes.
The north is amazing. I love going up north.
I
I've
go
got
back all
so
the
much
time.
family from up north. A lot of don't know if you heard any northern accents at our wedding. It's because like most of my family still live up either in York. I've got some of my families live in York. Some of them live in Newcastle.
Yeah.
So more family that were at my wedding were from up north than
I did
from
hear a
around
few,
here.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, just purely out of curiosity, was Mr. Simpson still at school when
Yeah.
you were there? Oh.
So this is a weird
Sorry,
story.
Ian, we're just like randomly talking about
Carry on.
Yeah.
Mr. Simpson was the
Legend,
first I hate maths. Numbers do not go in my head
Yeah.
unless they're a picture and I can draw. Like
Yeah.
I just hate numbers. But
Yeah.
Mr. Simpson was the first teacher I've ever had that actually drew me into maths because he's just so lovely.
He's sound, isn't he? So
and he
sound.
took the mick out of my accent, which was, from where I'm
Rich
from.
coming from him, really.
If you take the mick, that means you like somebody.
I mean,
yeah?
he's from further away than you. So.
It's like, he's been really horrible to you. No, where I come from, that's love.
Yeah.
All right.
He was
if,
great.
If you
He
get the
was great.
mick taken out of you, you're in. But he left a year in.
Oh,
To me, and I got really close with him, and he was lovely. He always he used to go, right, I'm going to set the class on a, Steph, I'll come over to you, we'll do our own thing, all right, love? I'm like, thank you! And he used to support Sheffield Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah, and he used to let us know when Preston were against Sheffield
Right.
Wednesday, and he used to make a joke out of it. But anyway, he was lovely, and when he left, I Irish danced for him in assembly.
Nice. Yeah, because he's from Northern Ireland, wasn't he? He was from
Yeah.
I
He
don't
was
know
like,
if he was
"You
from
Irish
Belfast.
dance?"
Yeah, somewhere in Northern Ireland, yeah.
I remember coming into school that morning with my Irish dancing dress on, and I wasn't very popular at school.
Really?
Because I was Northern.
What, just because you were Northern?
Because I got ripped into, but I'm not really bothered. I
Oh,
met
yeah.
my best friend, who's still my best friend to this day. She's called Michelle. She does some photography and stuff for us, and she stuck by me. But then she left school, so
Oh, no.
we still talk. But
Yeah.
when Mr. Simpson left, I came in dressed up, and
Did a little
that
Irish
was
jig.
it. Then everyone's
Yeah.
like, "What? She's so weird," and I'm like, "Yeah,
No,
I know."
Weird is a word that boring people use to describe interesting people. isn't
Honestly,
it?
I used to hide in the piano room, and that's how I learnt piano because I just didn't want to mingle.
Yeah.
I sat at the anime table like a bit of manga and
Yeah.
drawing and stuff like that. People just didn't really.
What was your favourite anime?
understand me. Pandora Hearts.
Oh, I don't really know that one so much.
It's a good one.
I'm a
Or
typical boy. I
like,
like Dragon Ball Z.
it's good.
Yeah.
I like all of it. But Black Butler, do you know Black Butler?
No, I
That's
was more.
good.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I wasn't like. Mainly dressed Dragon Ball Z, really. yeah. And obviously, because we come from the Pokemon generation. Pokemon,
Yeah, Pokemon. You can't not it's
Yeah.
just brilliant.
Yeah, I was like in like year 5 or year 6 when Pokemon the explosion happened. So obviously I did the whole collecting all the cards and all that stuff. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z was mine and Josh's favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but it served you well in the long run, by it seems, like locking yourself away playing piano, because it's like part of who you are now.
I remember asking because music was one of my favourite lessons, as well as drama, because that was the things that I was just good at. I liked a bit of history, but only when we got onto like the sort of diary writing and putting yourself in the shoes of like a World War soldier. I loved that because my imagination works then. But I remember going to the music room and saying to Mr. Taylor at the time, I was like, can I go into the little music room just for lunch, and if I got dropped off early at school, I'd go into the or after school, if my dad or mum was late, then I'd and there was a piano in there, so I learnt, and that's just I just locked myself away for like the whole.
Taught yourself.
I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Do you guys are playing a little bit of music?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Let's play some music, and then say once you play some tunes, it'd be interesting to ask you guys, like craziest gig stories, like anything mental that's happened to you guys on the road.
I'm not sure that's appropriate.
Mate, like the more inappropriate the better, Ian. The more inappropriate the better.
I'm not sure if I might have to make up
Crazy
some names.
gig story.
Yeah, anything, whether earlier on I know that you touched on having some instruments stolen, but we can go into some details on that, and we can share some stories with you as well on that.
Oh, please do.
So that'd be interesting. But yeah, let's listen to Stephanie and playing some live music a minute. So let's hear about what are these songs you guys going to play? What are they called? What's the first one you're going to play? What do you want to? I mean, just so you know, guys, for people listening on the radio, Drew's just swapping over the mics. So if you can't hear Stephanie in a minute, that's why we need to do a slightly different. Oh, you can hear it, Steph, now. But now she's in a cave.
I am. It's the best place to be.
So what song are you guys going to do first?
We're going to start with... Should we start with Michael?
Yeah, seeing as we already practiced it.
So this is a song that we wrote for Remembrance Day.
Right.
And because we've just been so busy, we didn't actually get to record it in time and release it on social media yet. But we've performed it live.
Okay.
And it's... we were supporting a band called The Cabarets in Barbrunel. And we needed some more originals that were a bit more upbeat, because quite a lot of ours are quite sad and slow, but beautiful. And Ian wrote a song and I put lyrics to it, but when he performed it, I was like, ooh, and my mind just ran with a sort of dark story about a old war veteran that's homeless.
That's good, and also quite relevant, considering it was only Remembrance Sunday a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, perfect.
So he was like, oh, this was meant to be a happy one, and I love that you've just made it dark. But we want to, a lot of our originals were going on sort of a concept album where this one's called Michael, there's one called Jane, and, we're just using the names of true stories that have happened throughout history, but we're highlighting them and, bringing them to life. Showing
respect to all of these, whether they're like people or situations, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How are the sound levels sounding, Druzy?
Yeah, all good, man.
All good? All right, guys, I will turn my mic down and hand them over to you.
Don't turn it all the way down, man.
What, not my mic?
Yeah, just turn it down, but not all the way down.
That's all right. If it's easier, I'll keep it on, but I just won't. I'll just be silent as a mouse.
You good?
I am good.
So then, Michael by St. Fian.
In a bleak, dark snicket made of cobblestone sits an old war soldier, he sits all alone. Once a hero marching to a victory tune, now he's talking to the shadows underneath the moon. Oh, he used to lead the charge like a scorching flame. Swapped his uniform for rags and can't remember any names. Once a hero marching to a victory tune. Now he's talking to the shadows underneath the moon. He was a fighter, a boy of 15, he held his rifle tight. Oh, he was a fighter, a flagon full of rum to get him through the night. In a bleak, dark snicket sleeping on the stone, the old man weeps as he dreams of home. Michael was a lover, soon to be a groom. Now he's talking to the shadows underneath the moon. Oh, he was a fighter, a boy of 15, he held his rifle tight. Oh, he was a fighter, with a flagon full of rum to get him through the night. Oh, he was a fighter, a boy of 15, he held his rifle tight. Oh, he was a fighter, a flagon full of rum to get him through the night. Oh, he kissed his maiden lass, this will be over soon. As he held his lover tight, a baby in her womb. See, Michael was a lover, soon to be a groom. But now he's talking to the shadows underneath the moon. See, Michael was gone for far too long. His tag found alone, they sent letters back home. His maiden, she wept, my babe will be here soon. When Michael got home, she had found a new groom. He was a fighter, a boy of 15 held his rifle tight. Oh, he was a fighter, a flagon full of rum to get him through the night. Oh, he was a fighter, a row of 20 medals hang upon his chest. Oh, he was a fighter, the vocal passing by used to pay him respect.
Woo!
Nice.
That was awesome, guys. Insane.
He is not happy. There was one slightly out of tune string.
No, I know. I
could see in
noticed.
his face.
I could feel your pain, man. I could feel your pain, but it's like you'd committed by that point.
I know there was no going back.
I know.
Everybody.
It's alright,
We
dude.
could do it again.
That song is
don't
over.
worry.
So it's over.
That song is over. You can re-string.
It was making
Not
me
re-string.
laugh.
Tune.
Like
I
getting
could
to
feel
play like music with each other.
Yeah.
There's so many times where we're just like one musician together now.
Yeah.
We're so in tune. It's unreal.
Should have taken the sound check.
And I just know. I can tell by the way he's like looking.
I could
I'm
see it was like bothering you.
He's
Yeah.
not happy.
I knew as soon as I heard it that was June, I was like, the second note I played, I was like,
It was like the low E, wasn't it?
And then
Yeah,
that's all you
yeah.
think about. Then you're like,
It's
oh.
only marginally out as over, but it's just enough to change every chord.
Yeah.
And I started trying to change it to other chords, and I was like, no, not working. Not time to think about this.
Yeah, man.
You're good. That was good.
Hindsight,
That's
it's
so
fine.
good.
It's fine, lovely. It's just hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, for
Every
sure.
I
time
wish
we
I did
play
that.
it, it's a different version anyway. So
I think that's sort of like part of the fun, though, isn't it? You know, every time it
quite
has its
long.
own little unique twist. So what's up next, guys?
I don't know. She's going to surprise me.
Ooh, what?
I don't know. You're surprising me. What? You said we're playing three. Two
Yeah.
originals and one. Well,
I'm going to
Foggy
be
Joe.
really awkward and ask if I can go for a wee first.
Yeah, of course, Steph.
Can
Yes,
I do
yeah.
it?
I'll tell you what. I'll show you the bathroom while these guys have a nice little jolly chat.
Amazing.
Hey,
Talk about guitar nerd stuff. I know,
talk
Drew.
about guitar.
Talk
nerds.
about pickups or something.
Yeah, you do.
Don't ask me to speak about
nerdy
pickups.
things.
I am the most unnerdy guitarist you'd ever meet. You got
What's
the
your
wrong-
favourite?
Don't ask me favourites.
Mahogany? Are you a mahogany or a Sitka spruce type of guy?
This is mahogany, full body mahogany. There we go.
Can I show the toilet?
Mate, I need to go to the toilet too.
Oh, are you? Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to take that as my excuse.
Oh, guys, it's going so well. You've
Yeah,
left-
okay. Yeah, we'll stop it. We'll stop it a sec, guys. Welcome back, folks. We just listened to Look at Us Now, Honeycomb by Daisy Jones and the Six. They are actually a fictional band from the Amazon Prime TV show Daisy Jones and the Six. But we're back now with real-life folk duo Saint Fian. We heard their song Michael just before Daisy Jones and the Six, and we're going to pass the mic back over to them so they can play some more live folk music in the studio for us all today. Take it away, guys.
Lovely.
Ready?
What's this song called?
Paper boat.
Paper Boat. Awesome.
Little paper boat, come on sailing to me, hauling and broken, lost out at sea. Your sails are loosely tethered and weathered and worn, a ship that set sail with no captain on board. Boy, put away your hourglass. Time already goes too fast. Time already goes too fast. Time already goes so fast. Little paper boat, come on sailing to me, easily broken, lost out at sea. Your voyage is closer than ever before. There's hope in the fields of heather on shore. Girl, put away your makeup toys. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. Your happiness it will destroy. We must choose how we use it, decide how we lose it. Treasure time. Choose how we use it, decide how we lose it. Treasure time. Choose how we use it, decide how we lose it. And treasure time. Choose how we've got a broken string. Use it in time. Keep going.
It's all right, guys. Just keep going.
Boy, put away your hourglass. Time already goes too fast. Time already goes so fast. Time already goes.
That's fun.
Thanks.
That was awesome. That was an original, yeah?
Yeah.
That was an original for you guys. Yeah, Ian just broke a string.
It's go well. Played out a tune on one song and broke a string on the second song.
Man, it happens, dude. I mean,
Employ St. Fian. We will put on a show.
I mean, if you want, dude, we have got a couple of guitars here. If you want, obviously they're not plug-ins, but yeah, we can mic it up, dude. If you'd rather.
I've got a string in the bag. It was 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, man.
It
yeah.
will not be long. I just need
Yeah, no worries, dude. Ian's just gonna restring his.
To be fair, did you want to play Bazooki's song now anyway? Should we just keep it at the 3 and then I'll do?
Yeah, we can keep it. Well, we can come back and do some more. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
play for you another day. I'll put on Bazooki now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
It's normal. Like, normalise broken strings.
Yes, but it's normal for me. Oh my God! We're gonna break everything down.
Yeah, see, we break strings.
Don't worry, dude.
And the cameras.
No worries,
It's
man.
all good.
We're
all right.
we're very chilling, man. That's absolutely fine.
Everybody else is really chilly.
Yeah.
To be fair,
If your fingers are cold, man,
No,
just
no,
let us know and
we're
we'll
fine now.
we'll shut the
We're
window.
I
fine.
think it's the strings heating up and cooling down.
Yeah, that's a problem at this time of year.
But yeah, that was a little song that we wrote about just sort of treasuring your time. And
Don't take time for granted.
you know,
don't take things for granted.
because I started off my healthcare journey because as well as being a musician, I'm a nurse. Well, no, I'm nursing. I'm a healthcare assistant
Oh, fair play.
at Musgrove Hospital.
Amazing.
And I started off in a care home called Avalon Nursing Home in Bridgewater.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
For the end of life and dementia.
Mm.
And dementia's evil, but the stories that come with dementia are just, people just think, well, dementia, you've just sort of lost your mind, but actually they're almost frozen in time.
Okay.
Even though they're old, they can, if you play a piece of music to them, it transports them back to, and they remember stuff.
That's amazing.
But people that have got dementia that aren't verbal or, that they're just gone.
Yeah, they can't.
When you
remember
play
their
that
family,
piece of
yeah.
music, it's like
takes
you're
them
talking back. Yeah,
It takes them back. It's like they're time traveling.
yeah, and that is sort of that's the magic of music.
Oh yeah,
It's like the
100%.
best medicine for
Yeah.
a lot of things.
And I guess with you obviously talking about dementia and how the song is about cherishing every moment. It's like it's obviously super relevant in that way because you never know when your time's going to come and you never know when something like dementia might happen to you.
Yeah.
So you want to cherish every day. I know it sounds like really cheesy and contrived, doesn't it? But I always think that or at least I try and think every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
And also without trying to sound too sort of like melancholic, like we're all going to die one day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's no rush. Do you know what I mean? Like enjoy it. Enjoy
and
it
those
while
lyrics,
it lasts.
like, a very close friend of mine, he is a musician as well, and he writes songs for Els Bailey, and he's constantly. I mean, I'm the same. What musician isn't? We're very self-judgmental,
Yeah.
and
Critical,
it's almost like when he used to go into his dark days, I used to think, put your hourglass away, that like you're not running out of any time, and we compare our journey with other people's journeys so often that you think that your journey's wrong or
Yes.
you're broken
or you're not
Yeah.
doing as good or whatever.
and well, they've got there and I'm only here, so I'm behind. You're not behind. That's your own path, and you
Yeah.
need to be happy with it because he's so super talented, and he needs to just realise that.
100%.
I think he does on good
I think
days.
unfortunately sometimes some of the most talented people are the most tortured.
Yeah, and
you know?
it's self-critical,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you do go into really dark places as musicians because it's,
Yeah.
humans aren't wired to have that much adrenaline all the time, but that's what
Yeah.
musicians thrive off of. That's what we live for.
Yeah.
But we're constantly on a stage
Yeah.
and put in the spotlight. So you're going to, even with body image, and the second lot of lyrics was "Girl, put away your makeup toys." The people that I've spoken to at the end of life, I always ask them, like, what advice would you give me? Or what's your best story or your favourite memory? And I always take them back to that place at the end of their life. And so many of the women, they've gone, don't worry about what you look like. Because look at the, it's just literally like a what's it called? Your soul is inside.
Yeah, so it's
this
like
is just
it's
like
a
a
shell.
baggage.
It's a shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just what we use to. It doesn't matter what you look like.
Oh yeah, and I think when you're like truly beautiful, obviously that's resonating out of you.
It's inside,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like you could be a good-looking person. There's lots of good-looking people,
Yeah.
but they're
You could be a horrible person.
Yeah,
inside.
exactly.
I'd much
yeah,
rather,
yeah.
know a beautiful person on the inside,
Yeah,
and sometimes that makes you beautiful on the outside.
yeah,
So,
100%.
You know,
100%,
and the just always keeps your own timeline and live life as you want to, because we get one of them.
100%, Steph. Especially with that nice
Do you
little
know
bit
what I
of backing music there as well. I felt like that was
that's
like a.
nice. It's lovely.
You could put that on YouTube, guys, with like some wistful, just like some breeze and some fields.
Yeah, do it.
With some
Just
reeds
be
blowing.
yourself.
Yeah. So what have you guys got in store for us now? Now that Ian's changed weapons.
Yeah, this is his bouzouki. This came not long ago. It's very beautiful. It just sounds so lovely.
It's great, isn't it? I'm a fan of a bouzouki.
Beautiful instrument.
The artist that the band that we were talking about before, Ye Vagabonds, they use a bouzouki quite a lot.
Right.
And Amble as well. They are playing
More
at
Irish
the
trad bands, but
Thekla next
Irish
year.
it's a Greek instrument, which what we were talking about earlier. So the Irish stole this in the '60s and realised that actually it sounds better than a banjo, but we
It's
can make
just
it.
so
Yeah.
warm. It's a warm feeling.
Traditional Greek folk music, they actually have their own form of bagpipes as well, don't they?
They do, yeah,
Yeah.
Very, very similar and connected, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
and they were some of the first people on the sea as well. It's like, ooh, where did they go?
Yeah, there's a really good Greek folk band called Daimonia Nymphae. Don't know if you've heard of them, but if not, check them out. They use like traditional Greek bagpipes,
As we said earlier,
bouzoukies.
you need to write me a big long list.
Yeah, we'll exchange lists, my friend.
It's like he's a little bard in like a tavern, isn't it, with his little lute.
Yeah, it's
Just, it
amazing.
gives you that vibe.
So what's this track then, guys? What's this track you're going to play now?
This one is called The Foggy Dew.
Oh, traditional Irish.
It is traditional
Ballad, right?
Irish.
No,
However,
So there's two versions. So you'll hear the Foggy Dew, which is an Irish war song, which the Dubliners
Yeah.
sung and the Chieftains sung back in the day. This
Yeah.
is not that version. Ye Vagabonds found an older version. This is recorded by... So this was recorded... Cecil Sharp, who can't remember the years exactly, he travelled around all of... Basically, without him, we wouldn't have any of the old...
Yeah.
Even the old things. He found this song from a lady travelling in between...
Another story.
Another Stowy in Minehead. She was a gypsy on the cart. He was
Amazing.
cycling along to Minehead, and she was singing this. He stopped there and goes, "Can I have that?" And he, being classically trained, he could basically listen to folk singers and note them as he was
Wow.
going along.
Yeah.
So this is his version of Foggy Dew, and so it's a Somerset folk song, but then the Americans stole it and then the Irish stole it.
I
it
love that it's so
started here.
relevant to us where we are
It
as well.
started on our doorstep.
Like Nether Stowy to Minehead, that's like right around the corner from
And
where we live.
this is I think it's either a song about somebody having a hard time with drink, and the drink is a foggy Jew, or the foggy Jew. Originally, apparently, the foggy Jew might have been written down as the boggy boo, and that could have been a local myth monster, and he's going to come and get you. Basically, don't stay out late at night. And
There
don't
are
be
a lot
naughty.
of myths around there, aren't there? Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of them ones. But it's very
Amazing.
pretty and it's very
Yeah,
heartfelt.
the lyrics are very. If you make it like like a hangover, the
Yeah.
foggy Jew, you've got the foggy Jew.
Oh yeah. yeah,
I kind of see it as a man who is in love with a woman, and he has a massive problem with alcohol.
Okay.
Like a serious, dark, quite problem with alcohol, and he just wants to keep off the alcohol to look after her, but he can't, and she's fed up, to say the least. She is more than fed up. Like she's had it.
Okay.
Because when
It's
you
the
need to look
end.
after yourself, it's hard to look after somebody else.
100%. Right, guys.
You ready?
Over
Let's
to you,
do
the
it.
Foggy Jew.
Won't do any of the weird little bits, just straight through like we normally play.
When I was a bachelor, young and bold, I followed the roving trail. The only thing that ever I done wrong, I courted a handsome maid. I wooed her all of the summertime and part of the winter too. The only harm that ever I done was to keep off the foggy Jew. was on that night about 12 o'clock as I lay fast asleep. There came this maid to my bedside, and bitterly she did weep. Oh, she wept and she moaned and she tore at her hair, and she cried, what shall I do? I rolled her into bed, I covered up her head to keep off the foggy dew. Well, all of the first part of that night, and we did sport and play, and all of the latter part of that night, snug in my arms she lay. And when the broad daylight appeared, she cried, I am under. Well, hold your tongue, my pretty young girl, the foggy dew has gone.
That'll do. Nice.
Foggy Dew by St. Fian, guys. You guys are so lucky to hear that live on the radio. That was amazing. Thanks so much, guys, for playing some music today for us.
Thank you for letting us.
Thank you.
No, it was absolutely amazing. So,
Spread
if
the
guys
word.
want to check you guys out, where can they find you, like online or wherever, if they want to listen to your music?
Yeah, so we're on. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
If you want us, we will be there.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
YouTube. No website as of yet. It's being built.
We're on TikTok as well.
TikTok she's on
We've got a little
TikTok with us.
page.
Nice.
I'm scared of that TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me,
mean-
me too, dude. I don't have it. I'm a bit scared of it.
I'm a bit scared of
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
If you
yeah.
download it,
It's just
you-
YouTube
that's
of
it.
short videos, basically.
You're
That's
just
Yeah.
going to be scrolling for days and days. But it's
Yeah.
quite good for musicians to sort of get out there, because unfortunately we're in a world now where we're run by social media, and that's, it's hard for musicians now to get out there, because there's so many people on social media, but
Oh,
that is
yeah,
that
for
is
sure.
what people look for.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are on Facebook as St. Fian, so it's st.fian.
Yeah.
Because I'm Steph and he's Ian, so together we're Stephian.
So, like, when did you actually come up with that name? Like, what was the creative process behind that? Did you guys, like, run through different possibilities and then just think it'd be funny to merge your names?
It was me and my son having stupid ideas in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
We
funny, yeah.
literally
And
just
then we
had a
kind of
brain
came at
fart.
it at the same time and just laughed, and then I mentioned it the day after, and it kind of, and we were thinking it kind of sounded cool, like St. Vincent. So
Yep.
yeah, it's just kind of branding, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. It worked, and then a week after I was like, no. But then it had already started.
It was too late.
So it's
by that
I
point.
too late.
like it. I love it.
No, I like it now, but I had that unsure phase of like, it's good. No,
He said it just as a joke. He went, I've just had a brain fart. We could call the duo. And I went, go on. He went, St. Fian. And I went, yes. And he went, no, it's only just a night. No, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I love it. I think it's really,
Yeah.
I like it now.
it's unique.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's very unique.
Yeah. No, it's a good name. It's a good name, guys. So, have you guys got, like, on your on the internet, is there actually, like, full songs of you guys playing, like, available? Or
Not as of yet. So EP / album. Don't know what it is yet. We've got enough songs to make an album.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're just going to go independent and smash it out first thing of an album or not. But that's due to be recorded down in Mill Farm Studios next kind of Marchish,
Yeah.
Aprilish.
With
I don't
Mr.
even know that
Tom.
Mill Farm had a studios.
Honestly, you need to go.
You need to go and just guitar porn. That's
What,
what
like
I'm going to say.
in Fiddington?
He's got like all the every signature Martin that was ever made. So we're like talking Johnny Cash, everybody. Eric Clapton's just on a wall in a line.
It's
John
like a
Mayer's,
museum
it's
at the same time.
insane. It's
And upstairs there's a big bar as well, and there's places you can stay. And they have a big folk festival
We
every year.
played their folk festival last year. We could play their folk festival.
What's-
this
how do I
year.
not
We've
know
got
about
lots of
this?
festivals for
You
next
need
year.
to.
How do I know about this?
You
I
would
literally
get-
live in Stagursey.
You would get on so well. So the producer who runs it is called Tom Joblet.
Oh, it's
Tom
Tom Joblet.
Tom Joblet. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Tom. Shout out.
His name's Top
He
Joblet.
says,
I wish his name was Top Joblet.
Tom Jobling.
I think from now on he should go as Tob Joblet.
He should be Top Joblet, like Hobgoblin.
I love that. Hello, I'm Tob Joblet. Nice to meet you.
And he's absolutely insane. He's great, and you know, he's a musician. He's a writer. He's in a band himself, and he mixes it all, and he does it all.
He's a clever man.
But he's
That's
so
awesome.
lovely. He's very welcoming. We should have him on.
Yeah.
We should bring him.
Yeah,
for a
but
bit.
yeah, definitely.
Apart from
Yeah.
that, we got spring tour, we got an autumn tour. And they're actually going to be tours, not just gigs this time. Actually mini tours, and then festivaling for most of the season, summer season. To be fair.
Any sort of like gigs coming up that you want to like share with everyone, so they want to like go
There's a
and
few we
watch a
can't
live?
say right now.
There's quite a lot
Yes,
we
cool.
can't.
Oh, is it
There's
exciting
nothing
stuff?
exciting coming up for the end of the year. We're closing down with a couple of end of pub gigs. We're in Weston for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Where are we? What's it called? Dragon Kiss.
Yeah.
Which would be half a folk show, half a raucous dance. It's going to be a weird version of us. That's what we're normally like. It's more of a club version of us. Not so much your trad folk show or. And then lots of exciting things for next year.
We've got into a festival called Test Fest, which is cool.
Okay.
That's quite local. That's in Taunton.
I'm not allowed to say that.
Cut that bit out.
Cut that.
Yeah.
bit.
We're at a
You're
festival
We're
in.
not allowed to say any of the festivals we're playing at. We're not allowed to
At
say right
all?
now. No, none of them.
Cut that bit out.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine. That's
you're not
fine.
allowed to say anything.
Don't worry.
Not till they've announced us. We're contracted to.
We're at a festival next year, and it's very
No,
exciting.
that's fine. We'll gloss over it. We'll gloss over it. Anyway, guys, I was going to say about any hilarious or just noteworthy, interesting gig stories that you might have. I know earlier on you said, didn't you say you got a Fender Strat stolen?
I had
Oh.
I had a very nice 1000. Yeah, but most of but my most expensive guitar and amp to date have both been stolen from me. So I'm now reluctant to.
And that was in Bridgewater.
Bridgewater stole the guitar. Taunton stole the amp.
The whole of Bridgewater.
The whole of Bridgewater stole the guitar.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
More annoyingly, I found the amp that was stolen in Taunton in cash converters a week later, but I had no proof that it was mine or serial numbers or anything else, and it was such a. Even though I'd been a cheapskate, so I bought the Marshall Mode 4 head and I bought an MG cab. Marshall Mode 4 is about this wide, and MG cab's a tiny bit smaller.
Yeah.
So it was just clearly obviously mine, and I was like, how can I not?
And you went in and went, that's
I
mine.
went in with a policeman, and the guy was like, no, and they went and it got investigated for months, and I never got it back. Yeah.
That's so savage.
So that was
man.
a two and a half grand amp and a.
People don't realise though, but like I've had friends as well that have had lots of things stolen, and one recently, I don't actually know him personally, but it was a friend of a friend. He got a whole pedal board like stolen, and there's so many pedals on that board.
And some of them, and let's face it, if they're not if they're not being manufactured currently, it can be really hard to get hold of.
No, there's
you know?
vintage ones on there. It must.
Some they're kind of like old vintage. Yeah, they go up in value these days. It's outrageous.
And people do it just like, I'll nick that and get a bit of money, but that's someone's life.
Yeah.
Like that's the
it's their
reason.
hard-earned money. Either
That's
way.
their reason, and it's a
That's the
livelihood.
that's the principle of stealing anything. Is to be fair.
Yeah. Moral of the story is don't be a pikey. Yeah.
Don't be an ass.
Don't steal.
Guitar or something.
It is when you found something special. I still haven't found a guitar the same. And now for electric guitar wise, I play. And most people were like, "What are you doing?" I play a £90 Squire. A Squire, it's not even Fender, but I love it to bits because it's the closest thing that I've ever found. But it's 1989.
Squire
so
Strat, or?
It's Squire Strat, but it's 1989, so
Squire is a
it's special. It's special. It's still built. It was when they had a transfer over, and it's so it's got all the Fender parts in it, just cheaply made. It's a horrible colour.
So you
horrible colour, but it's a lovely.
Was
guitar.
that a gig at the Palace? You were actually gigging at the Palace?
Palace years and years ago. We were supporting. Who was it? Somebody big and annoying, like either like one of the Napalm.
Big and annoying.
Well, you know they used to have like Scissor Sisters on a Napalm. We've
Yes.
supported quite a lot of them. We did, and it was one of them ones. We were on just before, and more annoyingly, the main band, and I'm pretty sure it was who was that? Can't remember. Maybe the Subways. Anyway, we had our rider. Everything was in the thing. We had a bottle of vodka and 24 beers. We did our set. We had barely drank any of it. Came back after the set, and in Palace, you get your own green room. You get your own little rooms upstairs out the back. Another band had been in and stole all our beer as well, and all our vodka. It was just like, so we were like,
man,
what?
That is a rough day.
Yeah,
It
wasn't
a rough
good.
day.
Well, no, that got stolen before and then my guitar got nicked as we were loading out the back. And literally, drummer was turned around. I don't know, probably some woman
So
distracted.
were you like
him.
out on the street? Were you?
I was
loading up
inside
the
getting
van?
the rest of the gear. Guitar was already in the van.
Oh,
Somebody
man.
had pilfered it out of the back of the van while drummer
We've
was
had
stood
a-
next to the van.
We've had a gig injury as well. We did a wedding not long
Broke my
ago,
foot.
and he won't let me lift it, even though I can lift.
She can lift.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not shy.
Hard northern lass.
But he's like, no, put it down. He's such a gentleman, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's nice, isn't it?
So I went out to the car to take the little bits, like the lady I am, and
Yeah.
you went and took one of the big subs off the speakers off the sub.
The big main BA speakers off the poles that you
Yeah.
see at venues. I tipped it up, but it got caught at the end, and I dropped it, and it fell straight onto my foot from
Like the
above
bridge.
my height off the pole, and instant kind of like you can't even do anything, just everything. Yeah, you can't scream, you can't do anything. Everything's just like an instant kind of.
You came
You've just
over
been
to
kicked in the
me.
balls pain all over.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, that's
yeah.
my foot though. And it was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like we're very good. Like, oh, I'm fine. Like, don't
I
worry
was
about
pale.
me.
I was pale.
But and
still
he's
hurts
very
now.
good at it. But he came over.
Did you
and
go
he
and
went,
get seen or
No,
looked at?
no,
I tried to make him
I
because I was
haven't-
driving. I was like,
haven't
I'm
been to
gonna.
the doctors or taken any medication since I was 12, and I'm not going to ruin it now.
Yeah, fair
it
enough, man.
hurts,
Fair enough.
but it's fine.
You haven't
I can
taken
walk.
you haven't taken any medication at all.
I
since you were 12?
lie. I took paracetamol that night, and that's the only time since.
Forever.
Seriously?
Yeah, we'll not take medication. Just don't. Yeah.
Fair
Don't-
enough,
Don't
man.
get headaches. Don't really get sick. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Don't-
very
don't-
much anti-painkiller, so I just don't really take them. Like, if I'm really, really
Yeah,
bad, then I'll
yeah.
take some paracetamol.
This
but
is
I'm
the only
similar.
time.
Yeah.
And that's because still
bet it worked,
99% I've broken my foot. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped. It definitely helped.
Yeah.
Because like your body hasn't got a tolerance to it, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all. It was like, woo, paracetamol. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo, party animal. Yeah.
Can't, honestly, I was like, you're right. You went. Yeah.
But
It's like,
we've been
oh,
very lucky
you're
in our
really
little
not
St.
okay.
Fian that we've only had. We play at really nice venues, really nice people. Lovely.
thanks, man.
We've already played a couple of weddings. We played
Yeah.
three or four weddings. Each one's been amazing.
Yeah.
We've done
Big barbecue
done some odd
house.
show. Yeah, it's done really places, and it's things away. We've been doing gigs on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which we never even thought. Well, like here really is going full time. Yeah, playing all over the place, random little tiny pubs to big venues to, as she said, barbecue houses in the middle of nowhere. That was an experience.
That was
and
lovely.
really cold.
We got very
even though it's
lost.
the end of the summer, it's still cool.
That was
It was,
lovely. And we got a free chicken wing, but I thought it was
Just
a chicken
one.
wing.
one
Honestly,
chicken wing each.
this thing
The
was
menu
like,
was like brisket, everything
big.
else, burnt ends,
Yeah.
coleslaw, and we just got stuck with some dry chicken that was left over.
Oh,
Don't
man.
say that.
It was free, I don't care, but it was amazing.
It was at the end. the stuff that they were kicking out of that kitchen just went
I won't
so
say their
fast.
name, they know who they are, they're lovely, and they look after us if they ever do listen to this.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
It was. Oh.
I think that's one thing that's impressive about you guys as well. Like, you guys are up for it. Like, I know a lot of people, like musicians, even people in bands, that they just don't gig anywhere near as much as they should, but you guys are clearly up for it.
It's
Like,
hard work.
It's hard work. People
Yeah.
think although it's fun, and it doesn't look like you're having a lot of fun, or it looks like you're having too much fun while you're working.
Yeah.
The preparation, the practice, setting up everything, running around, getting back at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and just be willing to go anywhere. And then peopling. I can people have spoken to, but then if you're not going to people at the end of the night, the people aren't going to buy into. You're not going to network. You're not going to be able to get the next gig for the next gig, or so on, or find out if somebody else wants you there. And that takes time and effort. And I'm probably more tired after speaking to 30 people in the space of an hour at the end of a gig than I am from playing the gig or going to the
We're
gig
both
itself.
very good
and
at
then
the-
she has to drive me there and at the end of it, and then deal with my verbalitis because I'm drunk on the way home. And
But
blah,
that's
blah, blah, blah.
great because
Yeah,
it
sure.
keeps me awake, especially when we're going like to. We do a couple of really nice little tiny pubs in Cornwall and Morwenstow and things like that, and it's so lovely, and it's a long way back.
Cornwall's all right. It's,
And he keeps
if
me
you're on the
awake
main
for
road in
this.
Cornwall, it's fine, isn't it? It's the little villages off in the
Yeah.
It's painful.
But and we both, we have jobs as well,
Yeah, that's it.
real jobs.
Yeah.
Not for long. This is a real job. We can do this
Yeah,
full time soon.
that's what I
lovely.
mean.
Full-time
People,
soon.
people
That's-
say like,
that's
"Oh,
the
well,
dream,
what's your
isn't it?
That
real
is the
job?"
dream.
And I'm like, "Don't
Yeah.
say real job. That's horrible."
How do you guys find the booking and stuff? Do you do that yourself with the gigs, or if you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't gone to agency yet. The start of it was we didn't really have people coming to us. It was very
Yeah,
nice.
that's
That
amazing,
was amazing. And now it's hard trying to find the new venues and the venues that you want to target because and I think that's important. And I think a lot of people miss out on that they just try and play any venue or try and tour any city, town in the country. It's got to be relevant to you. You've got to know that your audience is there already. There's no point in me and Steph turning up at a metal night or a metal club like Edward's number 8 in Birmingham. It's got 8 stages, but and it's all original music. But none of them I don't think they actually think it's burnt down now. But a couple of years ago. But either way, like them, you could have had drum and bass on, but like a quite nasty, like heavy drum and bass downstairs with metal on, and then hard rock on the top floor. We still couldn't get in somewhere like that. Even though we have metal influences and we could play a heavier show, it's just not going to work
heavier
for us.
stuff as well.
So we need to find. Cornwall is amazing because they're really into their folk at the moment. And they really love their shanties. So we
Yeah.
do some shanties as well. So
Do you? What sort of shanties do you do?
Not anything exciting yet. We're learning. We're getting there with the shanties.
If you
I've
guys-
had one in Barrett. There you go. There's a story for you. At the end of Dunster in Stag's Head, I'm petrified of singing, but I decided to sing John Kanaka at the end of it. I did a one whole bar and then just told the audience to F off.
And it was really
Did you actually?
he
I just went,
panicked.
F off and went, bye, see you later.
It was really good. And then when he realised that actually it
People
was
are
going
listening.
well and people were listening, he panicked and went, fuck off. I was like, what?
They all laughed.
That was
No, that's
good.
appreciated, but yeah, I can't. No.
Man, I've really wanted to start doing some sea shanty stuff. If you ever just want somebody else to like just do some sea shanties,
Oh, you're in.
let me
You're
know.
already in.
Then let me know. Because like me and like Josh and Drew and that have been talking for a while. It would just be fun just to almost just like record some just for a laugh, or
Yeah.
or even if we
Absolutely.
just did like a one-off gig where like we full on like as a laugh dressed up as a barbershop quartet or something, you know, and just like like really
Yeah.
embraced it,
Yeah.
you know, like
Let's do it.
you know, like I would be well up for it. Yeah.
Have you heard of the Longest Johns?
Yes.
recently?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how they started?
No.
Do you know the Xbox or online game Sea of Thieves?
Yes.
They played that and sung shanties down the microphone.
That's
And they
amazing.
used to do gigs, and hundreds of people would turn up online to hear them because you've got to be in the same vicinity to hear
That
them.
is insane. I had
and
no
then
idea.
then they just started gigging it out. But
That's-
that's how they started.
One of
Oh,
my
man.
Sea of
friends
Thieves
is
singing shanties down the
the-
Xbox microphone at each other.
That is so
basically.
good. Yeah.
one of
That
my
is
friends
amazing.
is the ex-drummer of Longest John's.
Really?
And, yeah.
That's
and,
what a small world.
I went to his house and then I was like, it's a cool record. I like Longest John's. And he went, that's my band. I was like, are you joking?
That is
Are
insane.
you actually joking? He's had Seth Lakeman in his recording studio in his house. I'm like, we need to get hold of him.
Connections.
There's
Well,
something-
Seth. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something
come play
so-
fiddle.
Yeah. There's something so fun about sea shanties. Like some of them are so catchy.
And they're just a Bristol-based band. Like, they're great. And
I didn't even know they
love-
were from Bristol. I haven't looked
Yeah.
into them that much. I've listened to a lot
yeah,
of their
they're
music.
Bristol.
Yeah, I stuck on a lot of their stuff. What was
I
it? Some
love
of
a
my favourites. I love that
shanty.
one that's like, I thought I heard my old man say,
That's from Knack.
leave her, Johnny, leave
They've
her.
all got Johnny.
Oh, leave her,
Ah.
Johnny, leave her. Oh,
we're stealing him. He's got a good voice, you know.
Guy and Watch It probably read that.
Really?
Well, brought it
Get close,
home.
Samantha.
Guy and Watch It brought it home as such.
Really?
If you go to Watch It, there's a little statue on the seafront. Yankee Jack. He's an old sailor.
No joke. That's my wife Emily's ancestor. That's one of Emily's like claim to fames is like because she's her family. It's like we're all funny. You know, you can go on Ancestry and look at your family back, and mine are like from like Cumbria, the Isle of Man, Ireland, Scotland, like Norway. All of Emily's family is like Somerset. But yeah, one of her like local claims to fame is that like Yankee Jack is her ancestor on her father's side, her biological
How
father's
cool
side.
is
Actually
that?
amazing.
Yeah.
His cottage is still in Watch It.
What's his name? Like Captain John Short, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
So
They just call
Emily's
him Yankee
maiden
Jack
name
'cause
is Emily Short.
He used to go to America all the time, and he used to go
Yeah.
back all the shanties. But he said he had the most beautiful baritone voice and was always the shanty caller. So he was
Yeah.
So
obviously-
he rang them basically all back.
And they've got the Pebbles, which is like quite a well-known,
Pebbles is
locally
amazing.
little folky shanty.
We have got a gig there in the new year, I do
Yeah.
believe. Finally, taken a
We do
while,
like
taken
the
a while to get in
Pebbles.
there for some reason.
And the Shipper Grounds.
They got some
good one
beautiful
as well.
shanty. Beautiful.
I'll have to
Folk
come
nights in
to. I'd love to come to that one when you guys play because obviously it's
Yeah.
quite close to me. Obviously being in Stigursi,
Yeah,
it's a nice little drive down the road for me, and then I
Get
can
you
come
up
watch
to
you.
do some shanties
Oh,
with us.
I would. No, I seriously will.
Actually,
So
yeah.
We
So
seriously
good.
will.
don't tease me.
Seriously, we're not teasing, not teasing.
Oh, you're recruited. There was one time when you needed a wee mid-set on a gig. This was in Morwenstow at the Bush Inn. Is that
Yes.
the-
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful little pub, and everyone was it was so intimate, and everyone knew all the folk songs we were playing. It was like a living room setting,
Oh, that's the best. Isn't it?
and he went, "I just need a wee real quick," and I went, "Okay,"
Doing whiskies.
and then I got really awkward and someone went, "Do an a cappella," and I went, "Okay, far over," and I did the whole thing, and everyone was like, "Boom."
Man, I
on the
love that.
tables, and I was like, "Oh my god, these are my people!" And he came out from the toilet and went,
I love how you're like. How has she just got everyone to sing
Yeah.
the Hobbit song?
"It was actually insane,ane," and it was all
Oh, we
moody,
have to do that
it
as
was
well.
moody lighting and stuff.
I want to do that with you now already. I'm getting like excited here, guys.
I could just go to the pub. You guys carry on.
It was so good. We're gonna do we're gonna steal Calum.
We get money out for you.
Yeah,
We'll do some bits and bobs.
you can do the looty stuff.
The looty stuff.
Yeah, we can have an instrumental jam.
Yeah, we'll have. Yeah, we already.
Drew's always valuable somewhere. He's just one of those musicians.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's versatile enough. He's always useful somewhere. It's just where he slots in.
We'll
you know?
do it as like a sort of like a Vic and Reeves comedy thing where every time we're serious doing the shanties over here, and every time we pan round, like your lute just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But you're like still really seriously playing about it. That was so cool.
Ideas are flowing. It's good.
Oh,
Awesome, guys.
we need to steal a pirate ship.
Yeah, 100%. That was
well.
actually my old nickname. All my friends used to call me Pirate.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
No.
But
Well,
I
it was
can
the way
see
you said.
why.
It was the way you said. Yeah. It was like you'd heard it.
No, I've heard a story about this.
Yeah.
Because my head's running with I actually
She's
replied
thinking
to
of
what
it.
my head just said, and
Yeah,
it was like,
I saw
we
you.
need to
I
get
saw you
Calum
do it.
some of them like Viking beards.
Well, yeah. It was when I was a teenager. I had really long hair and a beard, and obviously I've got a West Country accent. And I went to a metal gig, and in the mosh pit, like my mouth collided with the back of a guy's head, and it knocked out my tooth.
No.
So this tooth here is a fake tooth, and then I had it snapped half of my tooth off.
Similar than we think. I've got 3 of them.
Nice, man.
Yeah, no,
not nice, man.
Not
Not
nice.
really, but
Awful these days.
the tooth got wedged actually in the floorboards of the gig, and yeah, I like a lot of my friends just started calling me pirate because I just looked like a pirate. And at the time, I was a full-on partier. Like when I was a teenager, I just loved it. So I was always drinking. So I was just like this drunken guy.
Did you drink rum as well?
I drank everything, man.
Mead.
Everything. Yeah, mead,
Mead.
ale.
Mead's dangerous.
Vodka and ale, probably mainly in those days. Whiskey, I've always been a fan of. No, not together, but not together. One of the things that I do mix nowadays, and this is a bit strange, but I do like, and Drew likes this as well, a mead and yeah, either Krabbies and mead, which is really nice. You know, like Krabbies alcoholic ginger beer. Yeah, it's like
I'm thinking, I'm imagining it in my head.
and then
It's working. It's
mate,
working
put like
already.
a shot of like whatever your favourite mead is, and it's just like it's amazing. It's
Beyond
amazing.
sweet, but it's lovely.
Oh, it's great, but obviously it's
But
quite
all out
spicy
there.
as well because of the ginger, so it's quite a nice combination.
So you can get quite spicy meads as well, though. To be fair.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I like
yeah.
a fiery ginger beer.
Oh, me
like
too.
One that sets your heart on fire.
That's why I like
"Ah."
drinking Krabbies because it's like I just love ginger beer, so
Yeah.
it's like an alcoholic
Yeah,
ginger beer,
no.
perfect.
You need to feel the burn though. It's like having English mustard. I need enough on it to make it come out my nose.
Oh.
Like,
Pointing out that.
I'm as
Otherwise,
It's a
why are you
cigarette.
having it?
Yeah, it's like everything's gonna. It's gonna hit. If it's gonna do.
Yeah.
If it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit.
I'm with you guys. I'm like all about English mustard, strong coffee. I like lots of
Yeah.
vinegar on my chips,
Damn
like
right.
hot curries, like
so
yeah,
much vinegar.
yeah.
We add it when we bring the chips home. We're like, where's the
Yeah,
vinegar?
me too. Yeah, me too. Like it's
Do they
never.
not understand?
It's like
Ask for excess
evaporated
at the chip shop,
by the time
they
it's
do it.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
Scary people.
So good.
Anything you guys want to like finish with? Anything you want to like tell the people out there? Anything you guys want to plug?
Thank you, everybody.
I like trains.
Just go and, I like, yeah.
Yeah.
Pie flavour. There's just keep an eye out for
Yeah.
where we're going and
Follow
what we're doing.
Saint Fian. That's STFIAN.
That's
Saint
us.
Fian. Check them out. Their gigs. As I said, what's the best place to hear about your gigs? Is it Facebook? Whatever.
Facebook.
Facebook,
Because, yeah.
99. Well, post all the public gigs on Facebook. Yeah.
Yep. Go check them out, guys.
If
Give
it's a
them a
big
follow.
private ticketed event, and you probably won't be. We only put free stuff on there, basically. Yeah.
We've got
Awesome.
some projects as well that we
I'm
can't
not a
really
fan
talk
of
about,
doing
but we've
price
got
gigs at the moment.
Yeah.
we've got a little. Oh, I don't want to say too much.
Ian's like, don't say
I
anything.
don't know what you said. Sorry.
We're doing a song for.
Look at the way he's like
Don't-
glaring into your soul.
I'm not
No, you're talking
going to
about
say
sailing?
it. Yeah, don't say
You're
anything
talking-
because no,
No, how far
actually
is sailing
don't.
as well, because nothing's confirmed. Then you
Sailing
get
is going to be
yourself
used in a
excited
very
and you release it,
exciting project
Okay.
with
There's,
close friends
there's
of
TV
ours.
involved and big people involved,
Yeah.
and somebody
Wow.
with like. somebody
Don't
came over
say
from
any more, I'm
America to
very,
see
very
us, had,
panicky. Don't, 'cause I've
millions,
signed
hundreds of thousands
contracts
of
and
views
stuff.
on his Instagram and everything else,
But keep
yes.
an eye out.
Wow. All right.
But
That-
this is all Steph's work. This is nothing to do with it. I'm just lucky that I met the
I've
right
just-
Yeah,
remembered.
you're just like, I'm just tagging along.
Yeah,
Nice one. That's awesome, guys.
And yeah, and then there's also an audio book, an audio story that I've co-written with.
That's super random, but also very cool.
Yeah, we performed one of our songs at Wells Cathedral
Or written song. We
yesterday,
wrote a song
last
for it,
year.
basically.
Wow.
So we've got another Saint Fian song that might go on the album, might not, but it was written for another thing. It doesn't fit the theme of the rest. It might be a B-side or an extra, a bonus track. It doesn't fit the theme of the album, but it's still
Yeah.
a Saint Fian song as such. But
It's
written,
called The
written for
Lamplighter.
the event.
Okay.
It's a beautiful story about the lamplighter and who he is.
Here we go, another hour.
And it's almost like it's mental health.
Okay.
It's a glorious,
provoking.
beautiful story, and Steph was heavily involved in it. Some beautiful people in it. Big
Yeah, I've
orchestra,
written a lot of
some proper,
music for
proper
it.
nice big actors in it. Well, not some really voice actors, shall I say?
Yeah.
Really stunning production, all of them. I think they had a 60-piece orchestra down from Wales. Steph sung some beautiful bits and played one of the lead roles. It's a really gorgeous thing to watch. It's quite different. It wasn't like a play as such. It was just two people stood there having a chat, telling you this story, but with the
Wow.
orchestra.
Yeah.
Feeding with some visuals and in Wells Cathedral of all places as well. So
Yeah,
it's really
beautiful
nice setting.
place.
It was stunning. Yeah.
But you can check
We'll
out
do it
that
again.
story very shortly, very soon on Spotify. It's on Spotify.
Okay.
It's called The Lamplighter, and that's also on Facebook. And that's getting bigger and better and more interested.
They're
and
thinking about taking that on the road next year, aren't
So
keep
the
an eye out for
Lamplighter,
that.
look that up on like Spotify soon. And
It's on the Lamplighter
Oh, it's
track
already
is
on
on Spotify.
Okay.
But on Facebook, you've got the team that I work with and
Amazing.
what we're doing and what we're up to.
Amazing, guys. Right, well, everyone, go follow Saint Fian. Thanks, Ian and Steph, for coming in. You guys are amazing musicians.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure to
you.
chat to you guys today. And yeah, guys, thanks for listening today. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week with another Pandora's Box.